It's my fifth show of the week. It's my fifth show of the week, and I'm pretty excited. Ooh. It's my fifth show of the week.
Hold on for a second.
Come on, man. Well, we're here now. We're here now. We're in the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
There we go. That's what I was waiting for. That's what I was waiting for.
Thick of it.
All right, let the celebration continue.
No.
We're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
In the thick of it. What's good, everybody? Boys and girls, children of all ages, but not really, because this show gets fairly profane. It is Tech Talk Thursday for June 13th, 2024. Of course, this week I'm joined by Kev. It's your boy Kev in the building.
What's good, everybody?
Also, soon I will be joined by a red t-shirt. Hooray. But let's not have that distract from who else I'm being joined by. I'm joined by, hold on, I am ready, but not really. Now I'm ready to go. Sinziak is in the building.
Hello, and my unsweet tea thanks you for your patience.
Unsweet. I don't like the fact that Amazon now, like, I ordered a t-shirt and it's like, yeah, oh, it's coming through USPS. I guess because whoever has this t-shirt is not Amazon.
Yeah.
It will not be in time for the rally this weekend, which bums me out.
Damn.
Oh, that reminds me. You want to know what happened? A store that I wanted to order a kefir from finally reopened.
Hooray!
So I have acquired one. It will probably take some time to get here, but I have one.
Hooray!
So at some point during these episodes, y'all are just going to see me in my garb. You can ask for fashion tips at that time.
That's awesome.
I'd
love to hear it.
Our first and top level fashion tip, free Palestine.
Yep.
Yes.
Always and forever.
Yes.
So outside of that, how's everybody doing this week? It's been a week.
Tired.
It feels like a week, and also feels like the week has been too long and not long enough. I woke up every day thinking, surely it's like one day later. How is it Wednesday? It feels like it should be halfway through Friday by now.
Ooh.
Monday felt like Thursday. It was a rough time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I got thrown off yesterday because it's the last day of school for Caden, and he immediately got into an SUV to ride out to Florida. So being at home with just the missus on a Wednesday felt fucking weird. Knowing that she had to go to work the next day, I had a show to do the next day. I'm like, normally I don't have to stream on a Saturday. Oh wait, that's right, because today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday. This may be the one Thursday I'm like, do I really have to do a show today? It feels like Saturday and I don't want to do anything.
I mean, you let us know.
No,
Also,
it ain't
week,
it ain't that.
Also, this week on Thursday, enjoy these nails. These are our asexual pride color nails.
Gang.
Let's go. Let's go, Ace Nails.
You know, straight from Ace Hardware.
Ace is the place with the help of hardware, folks.
I don't know what's worse, that joke or the joke I tried to make at the expense of the Hoovians.
Yours. Because it was like you did not even read the room.
Oh, I read it. I read
You
it.
read
I
the
knew
room
exactly
poorly.
what I was doing.
Right.
You read the room and then threw the script right in the trash. You sure did.
And then I had to hit you with the ew. Brother, ew. What's that? What's that, brother? Cause like that's the first time I've ever heard like Jerry like geek out on something. Which I'm not saying that never happens, but I'm just saying like rarely do I like ever heard her geekdom. Like I'm always talking about, weird stuff, and she always rolls her eyes when I start talking about Gundam. But it was like me talking about. It was me talking about. I was like, oh, I never heard like What's Who, and I want to watch like the new Doctor, like I like in Shooty, and then she was like, no, go back, run it back, and I was like, okay, but I just want to see the Black Doctor. She's like, no, run it back.
You must go through decades of oppression before you get to enjoy it.
Right, I got to go back. I got to go back to the one in the leather jacket, the bow tie, the suspenders. I got to go back through the lady, the old man.
It's the fact that I knew exactly which doctors you were talking about with each and every one of those references.
Yes.
And I have no clue, so I decided I'm just gonna lob a Grinch joke in there instead.
And it fell like a dull, wet fart, and it was like, because I didn't even know what you were talking about. And
nope,
then you said,
and that's what made me enjoy it even more, because it was like he has no clue, none whatsoever.
Like Christmas specials, and then it was like it's a Grinch reference, and I'm like, boo this man!
Get this man out of Whoville.
So I said, yes, oh, let me find Jerry is a Whovian. I was like, wait, aren't the Whovians the ones who had Christmas stolen?
Oh. Boo this man. Boo this man on his own show. Dishonor on your whole family.
I raided his whole channel and just decided to cause chaos.
Right.
Any other time, I'm just like raiding dip. I was like, you know what? I got time today.
Time for bad jokes. Boo.
And the thing is, like, it took a while. Because y'all, it's not like I showed up and y'all were talking about it.
Yeah.
It took me
you were out here lying in wait like a landmine.
Mm-hmm. I even let out another joke prior to that when he was talking about like, oh, this is the sequel to Before We Wait. I was like, oh, you mean after we leave?
It's like before we leave and like after we left. And it's like, do I? Okay.
Wait. There's a final.
No, we're not talking. We're not talking. I will talk about that later.
But there's a tactics game to talk about. I would like to talk about a tactics game.
I mean,
I've never played. I've never played one.
Right.
I played other tactics games.
It's basically.
We weren't supposed to talk about it. Why are we talking about it?
You're being rude.
I can talk about Final Fantasy Tactics.
No, Sid told me we can't talk about it.
Okay, we won't talk about it.
Exactly.
I was saying, hey, since we have the gaming section, like we can swap the order of things today and start with the gaming section first, because I have two things I want to talk about today that aren't in our show notes.
Do we have articles for that we could also share that with the audience and the stream?
Do we have? No, we don't have articles for them.
Okay. All right.
Okay. We're off-roading today.
Cool. All right, we could do that. So then I'll just click this tab over here because we barely have any gaming news. So yeah, all right, cool. I'll click the gaming tab and then we'll be ready to switch to it. Okay. When we're ready to talk about it. So all right, cool. Then let's talk about this Final Fantasy Tactics remaster. So
apparently, this isn't an article as much as a tweet that was dropped today from Jason Schreier, who posted that there is some kind of confirmed right out of Reddit that Final Fantasy Tactics is being remastered by the people of Square Enix. And for those of you who have not played Final Fantasy Tactics, here's what I want you to imagine. all of your favorite RPGs from that time, especially made by Square Enix, had to cover at least 3 discs worth of stuff just to get to the black materia. Final Fantasy Tactics has all of that drama in 2D, in like 2D realness, that if you want to like a more modern day comparison would be a game like Octopath Traveler, right?
Yeah.
You got all of that on one disc. They had Game of Thrones level nonsense and constant striving between these people and the church. Demons, gods, the end of the world. It was a time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a time. That game is my favorite Final Fantasy game.
Right.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
And they are making a remaster of this. When I tell you that this is what's happening, I'm taking a break from this podcast and taking a week of vacation when that remaster comes out as soon as they land a date. I'm just going to be like, hey, I'm not here.
Yeah. That was the equivalent of me finding out that there was a spiritual successor to Suikoden, and then finding out that, oh yeah, we're going to get a Suikoden remaster of the first 1 and 2 games within the span of a year. And I'm like, what? Not us getting the spiritual successor and the remake to the spiritual from the predecessor. Yes. Yes.
Unfortunately, this was found out because of some nonsense about a remake of Visions of Mana coming out from PS4. There was like some leaked information about things from PS4 that were going, like things that were going to be remastered and stuff like that. So that was some nonsense. And let me just say, as excited as I am about this news, generally speaking, leaks are bad. Stop doing them.
Yes.
Allow us the gift of anticipating stuff and then finding out that things are happening when the time comes, and not putting undue pressure on developers and companies to do the hyper-consumptive nonsense that lands up with people being rushed, crunch times, and then people subsequently being thrown away the moment that the work is done. Please let these people cook, okay? That being said, yes, Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster, thank you.
Yes.
Legend of Dragoon next.
That's up to Sony.
Listen, Legend of Dragoon next. I need it in my veins, but I am very happy. I'm very happy about this. Ruin, please. So that was the first bit of news I wanted to share there as far as that goes. The second thing I wanted to say was, for those of you who have been watching, and I'm sure something will roll up on DCAnalyst.net relatively soon about these things. Summer Next Fest. I have feelings.
Next Fest, yes.
I have feelings. And the reason that I have feelings, these are warm and fuzzy feelings, because it wasn't just, ooh, these are really cool games that are gonna come out and I'm excited about playing them. It feels a way on this side of the screen because of the spheres that we're in to see the places that our friends were come out with games. So for those of y'all who might know about her, Pikachu Lito works at the company that is putting out a game called South of Midnight, which you can tell from the dialogue that they had in the trailer was written by Black people because of that dialogue. So
trifling ass mudcat.
Trifling ass mudcat, and you're just like, you know, a Black person it was in the room because there ain't no way no one was gonna write that line otherwise. And to just know that a friend is connected to that beautiful thing being brought into the world.
Yeah.
That is I now have a problem, because this particular Next Fest is just like, all of these are day one buys because my friends are in these games now.
Oh yeah.
Like, they're behind the scenes making these things happen. I am like, just never minding the fact that there's just good eating, because like the indie games are popping off and all this other stuff, and the way that, you know, like it's a combination of, I'm very happy about the stuff that are coming out, and gamers TM are a disease, because the way that'll be like, there's nothing good going on here, or y'all are upset because Yasuke is a main character in a game that Japanese people know about and are kind of complaining about, but people who don't live there are okay. But never minding that, because I'm not pulling out that soapbox today. It's some good eating, and I mean good eating, with these indie games and titles and all this stuff coming out. And And then the added icing on the cake that my friends are involved in some of the bakering going.
Yep.
Take my money, run my whole wallet. I have no problem with that.
The way that I was so much in love seeing Curious Joy up on that stage that Friday night,
doing the fighting games,
just doing the beast stuff, just being like, when it wasn't Jeff, it was her. It was like just talking, period. Just being there in her comfortable outfit and comfortable shoes, just talking to us, to our faces. That was one of my favorite parts of that, what I wrote in the article for DCanalyst.net. I wrote that, and she was number one. She was the number one first thing. Just her being there in these spaces.
And talking about the things she loves, and just being free to just do her thing with a microphone and being like, you're welcome, happy Pride Month.
With words and stuff and things, and then seeing the PC gaming show, and then just seeing Mika Burton there, and I'm just like, Black women. It's just like, just there and available and speaking words to me and people around us, and being unapologetic and being unapologetically Black and unapologetically nerds and unapologetic everything, and just beautiful, wonderful. I loved it.
I love seeing this. Like, it's the equivalent of seeing, like, it would be the equivalent of seeing Major here headlining a national Linux event and being like, that's him. I know this person here. Just being the bestie and doing the things.
Yes, you.
Absolutely.
Yes, you. Absolutely you.
It would be like seeing Kevin as a headline speaker for a CompTIA conference. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it gave me everything I needed and then some.
Y'all gonna see me one day. Y'all gonna see me on a Wholesome Direct. Y'all gonna see me at a Wholesome Direct.
Hold on, this is me touching and agreeing from all the way over here because I need it. I need it. My downstairs neighbors, I'm going to give them a written apology in advance if that ever happens, because it's going to be like, I'm putting on my shouting shoes and we're going to go step into the kitchen. Like, that's what's happening over there.
I'm going to have that recording done. This background, you're going to see either this background or another background, but I'm going to be there and I'm going to be like, hey guys, it's your boy Kev of Kevin Kev Show fame. And let me talk to you about my favorite cozy games that I love so much.
We're getting cozy this summer at Next Fest. With Kevin Kev of the Kevin Kev Show. I can't wait.
Hashtag hot cozy summer.
Ooh.
Even though that feels uncomfortable.
No, it doesn't.
Hot
no, it
and
doesn't.
Cozy.
Mm-hmm. You know something? Here we go.
You know what? Cool cozy summer.
Cool.
Actually, hold on for a moment. Summer. That's the hashtag right there.
Cozy Kev summer.
Yes.
Make it happen. But
make it happen. Speak it into interim.
So the third thing I would like to bring up is that a company, indie games company called Innersloth, has been looking at the industry, has run into some relative success, and has decided to announce that they are putting forth a fund for other smaller indie companies in the same space who may want money to do a bit of money to do the things with a program that they're calling Outer Sloth for people to apply to, for indie companies to apply to and get funding. And I'm just like, it's giving the very particular energy that Major loves to mention of being like, hey, listen, the only people who are going to be here for us and to save us is us, and we're going to have to get our own selves out of here, right? So, absolutely love to see that happening. Where I think I actually might have a tweet for that if I can find it. But yeah, was also very happy to see that in the mentions this week. So there's a lot of good stuff happening over here. We have a lot of listen, we have a new set of layoffs every week, and it's just the most nonsense. It's disgusting. We hate every second of it. However, there's also wonderful things happening out here. And so it's great. Major, I'm going to pop this in here so that you can have that link if you want. But basically, your wonderful people who made Among Us and things have decided to make a indie gaming fund to support other indies, and I'm happy about that. So
yes,
there you go. Good news. Just a dash.
That's what you call putting skin in the game, where you can be like, you take these proceeds that you've made, and then you're saying like, cool, now we're gonna go ahead and help other people, come to grips with awesome games. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. It's having that skin, basically having skin in the game. And I'm like, and it's what I always like to say, stand in the gap. And this is what standing in the gap means. It means standing out there, putting being like, I believe in you. Y'all believed in us. We're gonna believe in you, and make the game so we can make the games all nice and fun. And the best thing to do is to be self-published and just do it on your own, and have the people support and have the people support you. On top of that, have the Epics, have the Xboxes, the Sonys, the Nintendos support you, as opposed to just being up under this homogenary mess where we kind of want you to make awesome games, but we also want you to make them profitable, which on that's I don't know how you would think that, but okay. So yes, that part. And it's good. And I love that.
So, what else do we have going on over here now that I have finished gushing about all the things today?
Well, apparently, Polar Knights appreciates the show as a barber because it's showing beard growth.
I would be on this end, and then Kevin is on the other end, and that's fair. That's very fair. I appreciate that.
See, this is why
we're
over
here giving you.
This is why over here giving lighting. You don't want to see this beard.
It's tech news, it's gaming news, and it's fashion. Where are you getting that anywhere else? Hello? Tech news, gaming news, aesthetics, skincare. We're doing the whole thing.
Well, unfortunately, I might be bringing the vibe down. Oh, that's what Ionize was talking about. A sting operation with air tags. Again, this only becomes a thing when we can find air tags. There is no equivalent for tile. Stop focusing on air tags. I'm just saying. Stop it. But yeah, to bring the vibe down a little bit, because, hey, while we are all out here watching people survive and thrive in the gaming space, there was one game studio that did kind of highlight the fallen. So over the weekend at Summer Game Fest, a studio, where is it? It's a publisher. New Blood Interactive had paid for an electronic billboard to display Gone But Not Forgotten, highlighting Arcane Austin, Roll 7, Tango Gameworks, Volition, and Sony's London studio, among others. Also shouting out though, everyone laid off, downsized, and made redundant.
Yes.
Now, just for the sake of context here, Major, what games do they make?
Arcane Austin was Redfall. Roll 7 is like Worms, and I think that's a publishing studio and not a dev studio, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but I know they're behind Worms, among others. Tango Gameworks is behind Hi-Fi Rush and
Evil Within.
And Ghostwire Tokyo. Volition was behind the Saints Row series.
Wow.
London studio. I don't remember what they were behind.
I want
to say they were VR. I want to say they did some VR stuff for Sony.
Say Sony London?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of
like the heist
VR,
or something like that.
The Getaway.
The Getaway. Thank you.
The Getaway, iPad, a lot of the iToy stuff. Yeah, SingStar. Yeah, mostly a lot of like the. Oh yeah, and PlayStation Home. Ooh, yeah. So mostly just like the lighter fare, music games, VR, what you call like toy games.
Excuse me. So yeah, definitely sad. It's definitely sad to see those go again. Polygon being a month late put out an article today saying the amount of layoffs in 2024 up to this point has now eclipsed the amount of layoffs in 2023 in its entirety.
Right.
But I think that number was hit back in May.
Mm-hmm.
And that being said, I appreciate this billboard just for being like, hey, capitalism sucks. This hyper growth consumeristic shit is awful, and y'all deserve better than this. And I'm like,
and again, this is a billboard that was purchased, I want to say not that far away from where Summer Games Fest was happening.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? Y'all right. Yeah. You are absolutely right.
To the point where like, I think Jeff like gave like a very, and I mean like absolutely a wet sponge in the amount of in the bottom of the sink level of watered down message about the closures and stuff, but it was all this, but it was mostly like almost like a rally, like guys, though a lot of places are closing down, the indie scene is coming strong, and it's like, yeah, but
because they have to. Because everybody, like all the indie devs, were working at these big ass studios.
Right. So now it's just like they're just saying, like, well, dog, I'm just gonna have to make my own games. Like,
I mean, it's giving, man. It sucks what's happening in the tech industry, but boy, DoorDash and Uber and Lyft are just on the rise. Look at those gig economy drivers go.
Yeah, it's like, man.
It's what it's giving, honestly. If it weren't for the way that y'all like came from my edges last year about not speaking about this, I wouldn't have said this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't being dragged by what constitutes my two front teeth, I would not be.
Because reminder, that was a complaint that most people had last year about watching the Next Fest, which was like,
no, that was.
We know that y'all want to keep things.
Game Awards. Huh? That was Game Awards.
Like the SGAs, I think.
No, just the Game Awards.
The Game Awards.
Yeah.
Oh, the TGA. That's what it is. That's what they have. That's how they abbreviate that, right?
Yeah.
Meaning like, Jeff, how are you going to be up here, one, playing orchestras and rushing people through things when they're giving heartfelt things about studio closures, people passing, all this other stuff, and you're just playing them off the stage. Also, you with all that attention and the microphone and people listening to you, you didn't want to address this? That's how we decided to move and operate? Okay, Jeff, okay. And Jeff was just like, listen, I'm only saying this so I don't get fined.
Mm-hmm. It's like I'm not saying it's like I'm saying this so I'll get my ass beat.
And that is just unfortunate as a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
You hate to see it,
Yeah, you
but
really hate
other
to see
than
it.
you really do. But I appreciate the fact that companies are just like, listen, y'all deserve better than this, and like the industry has failed you. And this is the thing that, well, I don't know if we're talking about all this right now, right? But it's things like, well, I think we talked about this a bit last week, perhaps, where it's kind of like IGN buying a whole bunch of things, all these different large companies merging and stuff. I think in some, it's one of those things where it's just like, these things are always bad for gaming, and they're always, most always, motivated purely by money, because it can't be success when you have companies that are making iconic titles and continuing to make them to the point that you're still remaking old games that they used to make. But then you are just like, well, it's not hyper growth levels of money, so we're just going to have to like shunt the whole thing or throw whole people away. And it's just like, for what reason?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of been the trend for like the last, it's 2024 now. So I'd say more pointedly since about 2015, our place is closing, not because they can't afford operational costs, not because they can't afford to pay people, not because of any of those things, but because we're not making as much money as we felt like we should make, or as our shareholders, stockholders, whatever wanted us to make. So we're just going to close down the whole thing, or we're just going to like fire people and stuff like that.
Yep.
And that is probably going to be like something that we're going to have to report on constantly, and it's probably going to be ruining games for ages to come. Not that this is anything necessarily due to anybody who pays attention to gaming or does games journalism, but boy, am I tired.
Exactly. Like I mean, it's something that, like, I know I was beating the drum. I mean, we've been beating the drum for this for a long time. And I know, like, just from, again, like I was talking about like my personal journey, stuff like that, like just seeing all this grossness of capitalism, like not just in the gaming space, but also just in the tech space, or just in capitalism altogether. Like eventually it's going to come to a head, but it's so many people speculating what this will look like in the form of capitalism. And I hate to break it to people that it's not going to come in the form of capitalism. And it's like one of two things are going to happen. Either we're just going to sit in this and just wait for it to kill us all, or like there's going to be a fundamental change. And people are going to have to kind of reckon with that right now. Like they're going, like I would say, reckon with it right now, because the longer you wait, the worse it's going to be. But hey, I mean, just saying, things have happened today, like within the past couple of hours, that should really tip you off on some things, and we'll get into that. No, we won't, because I did not include that in this week's episode. We'll be talking about that Monday. But hey, just as a this is a side note, Musk did get his pay package. They approved that today. So again, yeah, if you think that the smart people, the right people will be in places to save us with capitalism still as a framework, this man just got $50 billion a day.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind.
Yep.
Going to Ruin's comment here. Small thing I saw you tried alters. Major, no one else on my list did. Seems like Kev is gonna try it a little bit later.
On my list.
Alters was a game. Not for me, because it is definitely still a survivor type game, and it's like I don't know what to do here. Also, I mean, because it's not like procedurally generated, like I feel like there is a path to go. Like there are things you are supposed to do to get the things to work. I got stuck for a very, very long time in Alters trying to figure out how to get something to work. Only to realize I had to walk around a corner. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, dog, I don't see this working for me.
Right.
It looks good, though. That game looks really good. It played decently while streaming. I still had some issues, but again, I want to say it's just trying to run a very, very pretty Unreal Engine game while also streaming, and it caused some issues. But yeah. That one is not for me. If you want to look on that same video, you want to see a game that's for me, Tactical Breach Wizards. Oh my God.
Might want to reach out for that when it's time.
I'm going to. I want that game. I want that game so bad. It is so fun. Let's see here. Also this week, Kevin and I have formed Solidarity for Storage Devices.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Also known as SSD.
Yes.
Because we are very concerned about our SSDs and storage devices in general.
Yes.
Because earlier this week we found out that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was going to take 300 gigabytes worth of storage. However, we were then informed that no, that is not true. But if you have installed Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Warzone, and Black Ops 6, and Zombies, and I guess the multiplayer, it will come to 300 gigabytes worth of storage.
So basically, what, multiple games?
Yeah, and I think they're combining as because I think there's like a Call of Duty hub where you can go and click and say, all right, I want to go to play this game, I want to go to play that game, something like that.
Okay.
But yes, if you want to just play Call of Duty Black Ops 6 or install Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on its own, it will not be 300 gigs worth of game.
Ooh, that's a sigh of relief.
However, it does point to the fact that this is why we have consoles with bigger storage coming out.
Yes.
This is why that 1 terabyte Xbox Series S exists. However, in the same breath as the storage debacle kind of being put to rest, we were then informed that Black Ops 6 will require a single player online connection or an online connection during single player campaign modes.
Boo.
Because the assets for this game are so large that they're doing some stuff server side. They're going to stream assets to you over the internet. To which I will say, I would rather have a 300 gigabyte game and keep it completely offline.
Yes.
According to Activision support page, quote, to deliver the highest quality visuals while also reducing the game's overall storage space on your hard drive, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will use texture streaming across all game modes. They do want to assure you, though, that you do not need to have Xbox Game Pass Core or PlayStation Plus in order to play the game. You can still play it without an online subscription, but you will still need to be connected to the internet. And again, I will say this again. I will prefer a 300 gigabyte game.
I can't really blame you for that one. I am very uncomfortable with the amount of things that they're just like, well, we should have that online. And then it'll be like, well, you don't have online services, so you don't have a game.
this is coming. I mean, granted, this is no, I can actually say this because I forgot. Activision is owned by Xbox. This is coming from the same company. It says, hey, we believe in game preservation. If I can't play my game offline, what the fuck are we preserving?
Mm-hmm. Cause that asks the question, what does that look like? What does game preservation look like?
And like, it's a good question, given a company who just released Xbox Series X without a disk drive.
Mm-hmm. And how long them games going to be available, and in what way?
I will give Xbox at least some credit here, because their games do tend to be they do tend to span generations. Like, I can still play an Xbox game on my Xbox Series X.
Mm-hmm.
See, again, I'm going to say, and gentlemen, I would hope that you join me in where we tell to call here, who has joined the chat. When are we going to see that article?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the 360 source is up. I know they're planning on shuttering it because they just had a huge list of 360 games put on deep discount.
Yeah. I heard somewhere in July, and I think
I did too. They're going to shut it down in July.
Right. So I'm probably going to get Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon, because those are the two that on the 360 that I was like, yo, I think I kind of want these. I kind of want these. But I don't think. But anything outside of that comes my way, soon may the Wellerman come.
I mean, if you can get that to work on an Xbox, sure.
Oh, it ain't about an Xbox.
Well, I mean, if it's all PC, I feel like you'd be able to obtain those legally, right? Maybe.
Yeah. In ways and means.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Just buy a scratch copy and say, "Look, I own it. It's right here."
Yeah, because like I can say again, if buying is not ownership, you do the rest.
I mean, buying isn't ownership.
So you can fill in the gaps after that one.
Buying is never ownership. You could own the physical copy of that game, but what does that EULA say?
Right. So again, as I asked the question, fill in the last part of that phrase. And I think you already know.
Yep. Well, that's all we got for games.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into all this tech, and I'm going to see how closing these tabs are going to work from the left side of the browser. Because normally I close them from the right side, and it goes all the way to the end. Now I'm going in the other direction.
To the left.
A growing number of Americans are getting their news from TikTok. Who knew?
I am one of those Americans, so.
Can I just... I want to look directly into the camera while I say this.
Wait, hold on. There you go.
Was this news? Is this the news that we need to be reporting in this time? Did you take the time in that article to point out this might be why they wanted to ban TikTok?
Hold on, I can find out.
Because that was the level of influence they were attempting to first buy and then buy people to create, and then failing both of those, tried to ban unless they sold to an American company?
It is mentioned in the article at the bottom.
It's at the last paragraph. Don't tell me they said that at the last paragraph.
They did. I mean, to be fair, there's only 4 paragraphs, and 2 of them are half paragraphs. So maybe 3 full paragraphs.
You know what? Since it's short, I'm going to give that one a pass because it is short.
It's not a big article. I mean, look, it's just the bigly letters so that way people could read on stream. 100% text on 1440p, shrunken down to 1080p. It's not great for the eyes.
Here's something, I'm not upset about it, but it's one of those.
So yeah, the article does look a little bit bigger than it should.
Kind of like, this is the thing that you want as a report as groundbreaking news, is being like, hey, a lot of people watch this to get information about what's happening in the world. We have been talking about that now in the context of social media as a whole for like the last 8 years. You want to know how I know it's been about that long? Senate hearings about interruptions to democracy. Why?
They wouldn't hold those hearings because they don't feel like there's an interruption of democracy unless
Facebook does it.
No, well, unless
an American-owned company does it.
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm. That's when they can get together and just sound like I would say sound like old people, but they are old people.
They're old people.
Railing
Waves
about
angrily at the cloud.
Yes,
angry man yells at cloud. Exactly.
Yes.
It's exactly
and because it's Facebook, it is a cloud. It's like the public cloud. Mm-hmm. And they don't even understand how that works.
Right.
Just dry, ashy, unseasoned, unkempt.
I mean, I thought, that is Congress.
Yeah. I thought when they were talking, when many of the senators, my senator included, was talking about we had seen something distressing about TikTok. I thought it was going to be like clips of everybody like singing to that one Chinese man song, Wo Meng Qi, Zhang Ju Di Si Saksa. Like, I was thinking that it was going to be that level of like, oh God, a lot of people are singing to this one Asian man's song. God, okay.
You think that's what you thought? That's what Senator Warnock was hiding?
I feel like that's the thing. What he saw, like, or he saw that one Asian guy on his farm doing arts and crafts and cooking.
We
meals.
need to protect democracy from this.
Yes, like that's what we thought we saw, and it's like I don't know what he saw, but it had to have been this. Because where is the
threat to democracy?
What's the threat to democracy?
Where are the receipts for this?
Other than a Chinese farmer, making awesome dishes and grinding, and making treats and snacks in his like tiny little farmhouse. What did you see? Like,
yeah, because nobody has said it.
Nobody has said it, but automatically it was enough to cancel it. And then I'm like, okay, well maybe it's not that, or maybe it's that Asian lady that does martial arts and high heels. I'm trying to figure out where.
That's a threat. That's a threat to national security. Oh my God, what if she stormed the Capitol?
Oh my God, she's kicking.
She's kicking the Secret Service agents. What do we do?
She's kicking balloons with
not the
stiletto heels.
Not the Capitol Police. They can no longer carry balloons.
Right. She's a threat to our balloons and mannequins.
Our strategic balloon reserves. Think of the helium. We're running out.
This is the same people who think we're running out of sunlight, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's
in theory, we kind of are, but not in the speed in which they believe it.
It was literally like what was it? Bad air from China. We're getting all the bad air from China.
Do I need to go watch all the Herschel Walker talking points again?
I saw him speak live as a counter protester because he came to my city.
I'm sorry.
There
actually,
may or may.
Damn, I kind of wish I was there.
There may or may not be a picture of me holding up, the other guy's thing and like in front of his van, like in front of his bus, being like,
Diagem brings up an amazing point that I have not thought about. This is why we're keeping daylight savings time, so we don't run out of the sunlight. We have a finite amount of sunlight and we need to start saving it.
Oh gosh.
Oh my God.
So weird. But anyway.
Takal says no sooner than when they ban force to sell, they will attempt to establish their own shit that works like that platform. That's how uncreative. They already have it. Again, this is what Instagram Reels are.
That's Instagram.
This is literally Instagram Reels and just Twitter now trying to move to video.
Right.
Like they've already created the TikTok clones.
Right.
They just, again, like I've said before, whatever your theory is on them getting rid of TikTok is probably right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not on either of those platforms anymore, so I didn't. Okay. I mean, well, this is just to let you know they've existed for a long time.
when they were good, a lot of them were good. Like Instagram was good at the video, at the photo hosting. Then like Zuckerberg got his hands on it, and then that's when it kind of like started to slowly work its way into bad shit. So.
Though this is why I go into stories, because it's not influenced by an algorithm. It's influenced by my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so this is coming from Pew Research, the same people who said that we're dumb because we don't understand the economy when economic forecast or when economic pundits say that the economy is good, but you know, average everyday Americans who have to buy shit, say it's not.
Yeah.
The survey released Wednesday by Pew Research Center looks at the role major social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, play in America's news diets. According to the survey, TikTok is the second most popular source of news after Twitter, though most TikTok users don't primarily think of the short form video app as a news source. Also, short form, I just got a notification from TikTok today saying I could post 60-minute videos to TikTok. Short form my ass. That's actually where I watch most of my Most Perfect Union videos, though.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I am screaming at YouTube to being like, just make the videos 90 seconds, so my shorts don't end up looking like regular uploads. And I'm like, why? It's only 1 second. It's just 1 second. Why won't you let it be a short? It's only 1 second.
Among TikTok users, only 50% say keeping up with the news is a major reason they use the app. Still, 35% of those surveyed said they wouldn't have seen the news they get on TikTok elsewhere. And unlike other apps, the news users see on TikTok is just as likely to come from influencers or celebrities as it is from journalists, and it's far more likely to come from total strangers. That 30% stat and that whole bit about news coming from strangers is really important here, because the news that people are getting are not coming from the mainstream media or Al Jazeera, which I guess is still technically mainstream, but
it is. But it
gives you more. But again,
Al Jazeera just talks about the stuff that the mainstream won't talk about in a mainstream way. That's it.
But most of the news that people are getting from TikTok, especially in the last 8 to 9 months, have not been from news sources, but motherfuckers who are running from fucking bombs every fucking day.
Right.
People who got to wear a press badge a press jacket when they were never pressed to begin with.
Yeah.
Motaz was not supposed to be pressed. Bisan was not supposed to be pressed.
Right. It's just
they were just existing.
Right. Because they were the closest thing as like correspondence, on the ground correspondence that they could get, so they just counted as the press because they were the only ones to be there to say, "Hey,
Shit fucked up.
you know, we're here, and there's some shenanigans out here." They're no longer, war correspondents, because it used to be war correspondents and people who would like put themselves on the lines in like rear.
And to be fair, there are people in Gaza. There are people. Oh, I'm sorry. No, let me correct this. There are people in historic Palestine,
right,
who are still war correspondents.
Well,
granted, we lost 108 of them,
right? But I'm not talking,
if not more.
But we're talking about people from like a CBS, a Fox, an ABC,
Yeah, I was going to say something about what has happened to some of those people.
They're not there.
But it's kind of gruesome because,
Name an ism.
Not just because of the ism. What I will say is because those bullets weren't rubber bullets.
And they weren't, and the bullets weren't shot indiscriminately. Nobody was catching strays. And that's either bullets or bombs. But see, people ain't ready to talk about that shit. I'll be here when you're ready, though.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look at you funny, but I'm gonna be here when you get here.
Mm-hmm. Cause let me tell you something about Project Maven. No, is it Project? No, it's not Maven, is it? What was it?
Damn! Come on now, get it right.
Nimbus.
Mm-hmm.
Project Nimbus. Excuse me.
That's Google's hotness, right?
Yeah, Google and Amazon's hotness. Look, don't put disrespect on Amazon. Amazon need to get up on it too.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying it's all. I'm just saying like it's Google, but I left out Amazon.
No, Amazon get that too.
Yeah.
Don't hide. Come up to the front.
I'm an Amazon YouTube. Come on. Come on. I see you over there in that corner. Come on.
So it's quite interesting that this Pew study comes out as the U.S. is no pun intended on that one, but this Pew, that one was intended. Study comes out right as the U.S. Is working towards a ban on TikTok. Mm-hmm. Again, that's 35% of people just get the news from random people, if not celebrities and influencers, because they're also trying to spread a message. Because it's like they're not sharing news so much as, the shit in place is fucked up. Mm-hmm. They used to be influencers or celebrities, but now they're speaking out. I mean, like, look at Amanda Seals, excuse me. Pretty sure there's several makeup influencers or other influencers who again are affected by what's happening.
Yes. It's like you have to hear this from everybody in all places and at all times for it to be affected. It can't just be like, here's from the news. Here's from the news. No, you got to hear from the makeup. You got to hear from the food blogs. You got to hear from the thirst traps. You got to hear from the game.
I'd be willing. My thirst trap following would go up if I knew that there were thirst traps who were talking about Palestine.
I think they're around. I think they're just
if you clap a cheek and say, "Hey, chatty. Go save, go let's do this GoFundMe for Operation Olive Branch."
Mm-hmm.
I'd be more inclined to watch the thirst trap.
Like I got them.
Like, again, this is where I come out and I still ask, my fellow black and brown creators on Twitch, on TikTok, Instagram, where have you. I don't know, take some time from posting about, hey, are you coming to watch me on Twitch? And post a, hey, are you going to save that life in Hazza?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Just take some time. Like, it's not going to cost you. And if it does cost you, those aren't the followers you wanted. Like, really, let's keep it a band and a buck.
When you stand on business, sometimes you stand to lose a few things, but you stand for the right reasons. Like
I remember I had people coming into Twitch chat like several years ago when I started talking about like just racism I was experiencing within, you know, a specific charity. Boy, did those motherfuckers just disappear.
And you know what? It was for the best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It hurt a little. It hurt a little bit, but it's like, well, damn. Well, I don't want them there anyway. Fuck those motherfuckers.
Right.
Because if y'all want to sit there, dig your heads in the sand, because I'm sitting talking about some real shit.
Right. Because again, if you speak in truth to power, and you stand on it, you say like, no, I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'll tell you something too. The guilty ass motherfucker showed it come back in 2020. This water's delicious.
Mm-hmm. So refreshing.
So refreshing. I am no longer parched. Oh, by the way, say hello to my fakely.
Look, does it keep the drinks cool?
It does.
Then that's all that matters.
Hey, I'm not mad at it. I'm very happy. I'm so excited about this.
I'm sitting up here drinking my drinks out of my gamer mode cup.
I am so happy about this cup. You just do not understand. My wife does have a Stanley. They gave it to her. They gifted it to her on her last day at her old job. And this is the fakely from her new job.
Let's go.
So she was like, "Well, you're not going to use this one. You have the real deal." She's like, "No, I'm not going to use it." So can I have it? She was like, "Sure." So okay.
It's something about free that just make the drink taste better. You know,
it does. It's just
like this has been a treasured gift of mine for like 2 Christmases, and I just love this. And every time I drink out of it, it just tastes so good. Everything is just so much more refreshing in this cup.
What makes me feel so much better about this cup too is like normally during a Tech Talk Today stream, I run out of water.
Mm-hmm.
This thing had water in it up until like 5 p.m. today.
Let's go.
Because like eventually it does melt the ice and makes more water. But it's like, you know what? Hey, there's still water in here and it's still fucking cold. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Oh, so good.
That's fresh.
Also, shout out to Brittany. Shout out my mod Brittany for giving me this cup for Christmas. So good.
Sid, we're just going to take a break here. Do you have a favorite cup in which you would like to enjoy beverages from?
You know what? I kind of do. But most of them are for warm beverages because I like having coffee in the morning.
Got you.
So, last week you may have seen featured on this program the blank and tired cups.
Oh yes.
Last week's was the Ace and Tired cup. I also have a Buy and Tired cup, and I have the my favorite cup in the kitchen though. I do have this tall green one. It's like a Yeti, but it has like a special print on it because I was at an event that they added something to. It has like a little actual Yeti on it. So that one will probably be my favorite.
Yeah,
okay, Kev, I got something for you. Do you remember the episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine when Jake and Holt went to they were in Florida for witness protection?
Yes.
And Jake was the manager at the putt-putt area.
Oh yeah, putt-putt area, yeah.
He was holding that mug.
Uh-huh.
It's like you don't ask me what's in my mug, we not gonna have no problems.
Yeah.
That's how I've been feeling all day today. We're walking around with it. Don't ask me what's in my mug. We won't have no problems.
Don't ask me what's it. Yeah, don't ask me what's in this cup.
I mean, granted, it's water, but
Yeah, like I had one of those like for a long time. They had like the red Solo cups.
mm-hmm.
They had like Walmart had those, but for like they were insulated, so they didn't bleed or anything. They were like they didn't like they weren't like 12-hour cups, whatever. But they were just basically like so they don't bleed. And I would just like be sitting up there drinking out of a red Solo cup, and people be like, "What's in my cup? You don't got to know all that."
I have a giant one.
Oh,
I got a giant red Solo cup.
You got a Ajit pie sized red Solo
You know what?
cup?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just big for no reason.
It is like it just takes me back to college. It is like, yeah, let's go, baby.
The chalice of the gods.
Yeah. Drinking all of my Diet Dr. Pepper out of it. Also, speaking of Diet Dr. Pepper and beverages, I don't think we covered this because it's been in the news for quite some time.
Yes.
But Dr. Pepper, #2 soft drink in America, baby. Let's go. We overtook Pepsi.
Let's go.
Are you trying to say that you out pizza the Hut?
Yep. We did.
Yep.
We did.
Wow.
It's those 23 flavors, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
We coming for you, Coke.
Mm-hmm.
What happens though if Dr. Pepper overtakes Coke and Dr. Pepper is the #1 soft drink?
Then Georgia will set a fire ablaze again.
What I know is that you will absolutely take a screenshot of it for future, bro, like for the future, and be like, I just want to remind y'all.
Yes, look, the #1 beverage in the world. Let's go. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's get back to the news, shall we? Twitter CEO Linda Yaccarino held an all-hands meeting addressing Twitter employees in a rare meeting after several turbulent months, answering some questions about delayed promotions and the possibility of layoffs.
Yeah, girl, that's on you, girl.
Why does it look like she's wearing her suit jacket inside out? I just noticed this. I talked about this today. I did not notice the suit jacket until now.
You know, what is wild to me is just how that set of words was put together. Because it's people were asking about what's going on.
Yeah, I
with the future
admit,
and things like that.
I'll admit I was reading the subtitle and the title at the same time, and it just was.
No, I mean that's perfectly
nonsense.
Fine. It's just like one of those. So let me get this straight. People asked you what was up with the future or what might be going on. You declined to respond appropriately, and people's reasonable response to this was panic.
Oh no!
You'd be like I said, to the people who are still working for Twitter.
Why?
Well, that, and also you might want to go. You might want to go ahead and freshen up them resumes. Like
I'm gonna say freshen up these
what?
resumes. I'm not even going to say that y'all should. That I'm asking them why, because we know why. Capital fuckinglism, especially when we remember, because this is where I just want to say, like, hey, Major, if I could just take you off to the side for a minute, just remember that that company did in fact decide to hire a number of people, and not an insignificant amount of them that are there on work visas. Like their whole ability to be here is dependent on them having that job or being able to find another one within 90 days in a place where you have to do panel interviews for at least 6 months before they will send you an email telling you whether or not they are going to consider your application. So, back to the show over here. I'm just saying, there might be reasons for some of those people to be there.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, to go ahead and start looking at putting out feelers, talking to headhunters, that kind of stuff. Because
Listen, dear everybody at Twitter, it's been a great run, but you know that you needed to go ahead and dust that resume off every 2 to 3 years anyway. So just go ahead and do it. Do what you know.
Before they force you to, mind you.
Oh no, do it now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
like if you were listening to
before they force
Like,
you to dust it.
hold on for a moment. Let me hit Kev with one of them Deku quotes for a second. If you are here under the sound of my voice, dust off that resume today.
Right. If you can hear me, if you can see me, go ahead.
This is your sign.
Freshen it up. This is your
sign.
This is your time. This is your sign.
You're approaching the exit ramp. I'm gonna need you to turn on the signal.
Mm-hmm.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Yeah.
And not that company, not TikTok the company. This is the time, the sound of a watch. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know. Look, we all have Apple Watches, so they don't really make the TikTok sound, but that's what. Okay, because I understand that all of you are young, working at Twitter. Mm-hmm. You may not know watches used to make sounds.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The clocks and watches used to make sounds, and it was like tick, tock, tick, tock. Some were like tick, 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 but they made sound. They're not as silent as they are now, unless a notification pops up.
Right.
Just so we're on the same page when I say TikTok.
Yeah.
And yes, that's probably where they got the name of the app from.
Mm-hmm. Like that fresh jar of herbs that you thought was on the counter but wasn't. Time is not on your side. Go ahead, get that resume together. Post haste. If not as soon as he brought the damn sink in. Start freshening up them resumes. When he brought that sink in, it was time to be like, yeah, let me go ahead and get this resume together because I don't feel it working out too well in my face. Some days it really does feel like a bad Succession plot episode. Like just like a Succession episode that was left on the cutting room floor. Like, nah, we can't do that. We can't have the Roys acting up like this. No.
And more Musky Musk company news. Fired SpaceX workers sue Elon Musk for sexual harassment and retaliation.
Mm-hmm. You know what he's known for? One of the things he's known for?
The complaint, which cites many of Musk's Twitter posts making sexually explicit jokes, claims that Musk fostered a perversely sexist culture at SpaceX. Several of the plaintiffs say they experienced direct harassment that mimicked Musk's posts. According to the suit, senior engineers often use phallic language during technical meetings, referring to mechanical parts as chodes and schlongs.
Oh, I just cringed so hard.
Exactly. Oh. Exactly. It was also common for engineers to apply crude and demeaning names to products in an attempt at humor, often at the expense of women and LGBTQ plus individuals. For example, the name Upskirt Camera was used for a camera on the first stage of the Falcon rocket that views the bottom of the second stage.
Can I just say, is there anyone among us today who feels that they might have a reason not to immediately believe anything on this report? I would also like to add here, light of the fact that the man openly mocked a disabled person and fired them.
Only to realize he was very critical to the work of the company.
I mean, how many like tweets do we ever have? Like, it's like,
hallelujah. Why is this man allowed to have oxygen and free will? Like,
it's that part of like, it would be like you would have to go into like someone's internal emails, or it would be like a whistleblower like internal, basically like it would be leaks, whistleblower complaints, it would have to take like a deep throat level. I'm talking about the Watergate. Talk about Watergate.
I appreciate that, but, Kevin,
insider.
please.
It's unfortunate,
Kevin, please.
man, what's happened since.
I know.
Kevin, please.
And what was wild though, it was like it was basically for the thing of the time. It wasn't like, oh, this was like years later when that happened. No, it was the same. It was the same year. It was the same year. And so it's like that you would have to go to that level of like high up, big in the chain, knew the words, basically walked out with sensitive materials, that kind of stuff. Nah, it's his tweets, maybe. It's his tweets. It's his interviews. It's his comments. It's a treasure trove of like reporting when it's just literally him opening his pie hole and watching things fly out.
It's like what I've been learning lately about Zionism. And it's like, oh, this was not a secret. They were openly just writing fucking letters to each other. Like
they were recording. They were recording it. They were having panels. They were having
whole congresses, just like talking, discussing what they were going to do. Like,
and then
how did we miss? Like, it's a question of like, how did I miss this? Oh wait, nope. Oh no, I know why. Never mind.
We weren't looking for it. Now we're finding it because it's there.
It's like when somebody comes and asks me, and like it was funny because like I showed them. I was showing people today when I tried to show them a couple of days ago when we were talking about iPad feature, like new iPad features, and I wanted to show them my handwriting. But I finally got to show them today. But then like they were able to see what I was writing, and I was taking notes about like the classes I was attending. Also, there were names in there, so that's why if you look at the thumbnail for Tech Talk today, it is an image of my iPad with Death Note on it. Because, boy, that's what that looked like at one point. Granted, all the names I wrote, there are people that are already dead because they've been dead for a century. But yeah, it's a thing of like, they saw like it's a thing where like if people were to come up to me and say, man, you don't know your history, it's like, nah, dog, I really do. Like, so serious. I know my fucking history. Do you? Do you, or you just don't care? Well, like what you learn in Hebrew school, because like they are very, and this is not anti-Semitic, this is anti-Zionist. Hebrew schools are known to sit there and teach Zionist propaganda. So it's like, I mean, I read a book that literally showed letters and quotes from Zionist leaders before Israel was founded. I'm just saying, this came out their mouths. They wrote this shit. They put pen to paper and like wrote their confessions. These are their confessions. I don't know what to do about your fake country. These are those confessions. Sorry, it's been a while since we've broken out in song.
It's them basically saying the quiet part loud and then the loud part even louder. It's a
retweet.
Yeah, and it's a retweet. But yeah, that's what Musk does. Musk literally just says whatever he wants, and all you just have to do is just see, here's all these cached tweets. And that's all you need to know about this person's character. So when it's like sexual harassment and retaliation, well, we saw that. Especially the retaliation part. People literally, somebody says something, they get fired. Somebody questions them, they get fired. Don Lemon has a little bit, asks him way more uncomfortable questions than he feels about him. Not only does he threaten him on his own show, but then cancels him an hour later. It's like, that's what we're saying. Like, this man has a history of retaliating and and harassing people who don't who just happen to be in his aura of influence. Because again, he does not have any media literacy, he doesn't have any media training, and he feels like he can just white man himself into any situation and come out smelling on top, and then the law says no. But
Per Bloomberg, after a human resources official suggested SpaceX conduct an investigation, Musk replied, "I don't care. Fire them."
Yeah. He said that shit.
Also, if you really care about like how that culture really is very pervasive within the management, the complaint also cites a video starring SpaceX's upper management, including Vice President of Human Resources, Brian, who gives a fuck, President and CEO Gwen Shotwell, another woman who is in charge of a company of his. So I guess in case shit burns down to the ground, blame it on the woman.
Put the woman in charge.
And Elon Musk that mocks and makes light of sexual misconduct and banter. Their upper management put out a video. Again, just to remind people that earlier today, Tesla CEO Elon Musk was awarded $50 billion from his shareholders. Just want to put that out there. Even though some shareholders are wondering why he's running a competitor to Tesla.
And if I'm like this, if y'all had 50 billion and you decided to give it to Elon Musk, you deserve everything you get.
Yep.
That's it. You literally said, "Hey, I got 50 bills, and I'm gonna give it to this man who's running the company into the ground."
Because you have to keep him focused.
Because you have to keep him focused. Because you could literally have said, "This is where we right the ship. This is where we get this man away from us and start turning the ship around." But you didn't, because Cybertruck and Musk and whatever. So again, if you have 50 billion and you gave it to somebody else, you deserve everything you get. I have no empathy for you. I have no sympathy, no empathy, no any of the empathies for you any. You just cooked, and that's all I get. I got no empathy for you. Oh well.
I want to thank you, Merge, for joining us. And yes, as Merge has stated before, as I had mentioned before, yeah, Merge saw all that. I do my research. It's well documented. Are y'all ready for the biggest of Negrodamus moments?
Let's go.
Remember, and speaking of SpaceX, remember when they were forcing people back into the office and we said that, hey, maybe this isn't about return to work, but them trying to let go of people silently?
Yes.
Some company heads hoped return to office mandates would make people quit, survey says.
So
from downtown.
So once again, do I have to remind us as I look directly into the camera, remember when we told y'all about quiet firing?
We called it out.
4 years ago.
Didn't have a name for it, but we called it.
Remember our quiet firing? Because they came up with a name for it shortly after they came up with the whole quiet quitting thing. And quiet quitting was people just doing their job in the time that they were scheduled and paid for. And the company's responses to it were, let's put you in increasingly impossible to overcome situations so that we can just fire your ass.
Or just hope that you quit. Or just hope that you quit.
We have been like, and mostly hoping that you quit so that they don't have to pay you for finding out that the things that they were firing you for were bullshit.
Wow.
John, we've been sitting on this for like 3.5 years. Why are we writing like this is new? It is
because a survey was made. A survey was made.
Where
Again,
the
like
numbers?
Pew. Like Pew.
Well, you know something? I guess every Black, disabled, or otherwise marginalized person is going to tell you, well, I'm glad that y'all did a survey and y'all have been able to catch up with the information. Now, what are y'all going to do about that? Oh, I'm tired. As Kevin would say, and so lovingly, blow the whistle.
Beep, 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 beep.
It was for different reasons, but that's precisely what happened to me. Yep. Again, it's just, how does it make you? I'm gonna be my therapist here. I'm gonna be my therapist to you all. How does it make you feel when you see something that validates something you've been saying for so long, and now there is data to prove it? Like, you have something to point to and say, we've been telling you this. Here is now empirical data that says what we says were true.
And you know, we love them
every single time. I will go ahead and give you that one for fun. When it comes to bad stuff like this, anger, it is rage every single time. Because in the time that it took y'all to go and gather the evidence and the data for something that we told you was clear and observable, that I have literally watched happen several times in my own personal experiences in corporate environments specifically. For you to finally be like, oh, well, we have the data for that now, so we can believe you, I guess. And it's kind of like, okay, well, you wasted 3 years of time and now everybody's lives are miserable. Are you going to call all those people who got caught up in this and go and give them jobs now? Is that what we're doing? You should run every single one of those people a check per year behind your foolishness. Thank you.
You know what? Let's see. I want to move these up here for a second to keep this going, because while this one wasn't necessarily Musk specific, it was still tied to SpaceX. Let's talk about some WWDC stuff. Starting with Musk again. Actually, no, I don't want to do that. Not yet. I have to set the stage, excuse me. So let me do that first. Or let's catch up to Call here, who is stating some things. Boss refused to hire people to staff the team. I kept calling him out on it. Instead of correcting the situation that he was complicit in, he stacked more work onto me when I kept adjusting to the new workload that my coworkers mysteriously didn't have to do. Made up a bullshit reason, and HR released me with 0 write-ups. The reason I know it was all bullshit was because I got unemployment.
So to give you context for that whole unemployment thing, I got fired from a pizza shop, and they were just, well, like, the thing is, they didn't fire me. What they did was they gave me 0 hours for a handful of weeks. So I went to go file for unemployment.
Yeah, that also happened to me at Food Line.
And I walked up, and they were just like, so did they tell you what the issue was? And I said, no, they honestly didn't, except that they said I wasn't smiling at somebody that day. They said, did they give you a plan to correct the problem that was happening? No. Did they give you a verbal, or did they give you any kind of write-up or anything that you had to sign or agree to stating these things? And I was just like, nope. And they was just like, all right, well, give us some time to go look into it. They took about 72 hours and came back and was just like, so your first unemployment check will be here by the end of the week. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to ask, was there anything else you had to do in order to get those unemployment checks?
They had a thing where they're just like, hey, like, keep us up to date on, like, if you're applying for jobs and where you're applying for jobs and how that stuff is going.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Yep.
See, here in North Carolina, it is that same process, except it is a full-time job.
Yes.
To report that information.
Yeah.
So yes, I too.
They made you have to report that. They had a once a week check-in where you had to report these things. And what they did have was like here's a minimum number of things that we expect you to have, like, on that report that you turn in at the end of the week.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, I was an American citizen or citizen of this state that was paying taxes. Got let go by a company that you're probably sitting there publicly subsidizing with my tax dollars. The fuck you mean? I'm entitled to my money, no strings attached. Yeah, your boy did not file for unemployment. And that was the thing I told my wife, I told Tiffany, I said, look, I hope to God somebody walks up on me and says I'm living off of unemployment and not looking for jobs. Like, $0 from the motherfucking government. Try again. Because I'm not jumping through fucking hoops to sit there and get money that I paid into a system. That's not how this shit should fucking work. Again, this is why I support universal basic income.
Me too.
And 10 toes down on that even before I lost my job.
Bits.
Like, again, people think, I really hope, and I don't think that a lot of people do think this, but I've been on this socialism kick long before I lost my job. This ain't just something new because, I ain't got a job and I'm looking at socialism to solve my ails. No, this is me. Like, I've been 10 toes down in this shit for a while. It's just that I didn't want to admit I was a socialist because I thought that was a taboo thing to do. Like, again, I tell people, so look, there is evidence documented on this very show in at least the past 4 years where I've said, like, I'm socialism light or like diet socialism because I believed in reforms and not revolution. The one thing that changed between me losing a job and between me having a job and not was my stance on revolution. Because then I took the time to realize how deeply entrenched this shit was. I was like, oh, no, we can't fix this with this current. Oh, fuck. Yeah. You know what? Nah, fuck this shit up. Burn it to the motherfucking ground. Anywho, AI. The thing that's supposed to make all of our lives easier, but again, without universal basic income, it's displacing a lot of people from jobs, and now they're sitting broken home.
Well, you know something? Can I just say this? Without this as displacing people from jobs, for the third article in a row, like we told you the first time.
Yes.
Like we told you the first time, and let me triple underline, like we told you the first fucking time.
Oh,
like,
this article isn't about that though.
No, I mean, it's not about that, but the thing that you just said, just here we are. Oh, I know what article you're talking about too. And I'm also going to say, given the content of the article, like we told y'all the first time. Continue. I'm ready for this.
So again, like this. So again, I will always maintain the stance of I am about automation and artificial intelligence. However, you need to have a system in place for those it is displacing.
And for those of you who have ever missed like the debates that we've had, which have had a bit of nuance and substance to it, and have quite honestly a little bit evolved over the course of this show for a lot of us, right? My stance on it is currently, that's real cute and everything, but our current system of capitalism versus ethics does not put us in a good place when it comes to implementing that stuff. Because quite honestly speaking, while the people on this cast definitely care about helpful and assistive tools and things of that and assistive technologies, these people don't. They want to not pay people.
Yes.
And with that in mind, major the article.
So Apple is paying people, kinda, with it. On WWDC on Monday or Tuesday, when was it? Yes, it was Monday. Fuck. It's been a week. At WWDC on Monday, Apple announced Apple Intelligence. Do not call it AI because they won't, even though it's literally the letters A and I. They have created their own machine, their own little AI model that can fit on an iPhone 15 Pro, or Pro Max, any M1 based Mac or iPad that is out there. That apparently will superpower Siri. Everything that you do, that you ask of it, it will do on device. If it requires a little bit more computing power, it will hit an Apple private compute or what the fuck was it called? A private cloud compute server that apparently has no storage. It will not keep any of your data. It'll only use it to compute the data based off of what your iPhone sent to it, and it'll send it back. Does not keep any private data. And if there are other things that are out of the scope of what Apple can do with its machine, with its LLM models or with its LLM, they will send it out to ChatGPT, who is apparently doing this for exposure. No money was changed hands. ChatGPT or OpenAI is just letting Apple use ChatGPT for the exposure. Now, again, with everything that a company will say, always take that with a grain of salt. However, giving the track records of all of these companies that are doing AI, I am more inclined to believe Apple the most when they're what they're saying, especially with their want to keep everything on device, nothing gets out, doing end-to-end encryption between the device and their private cloud compute, and when it comes to ChatGPT, asking the user every time they need to send something to ChatGPT, is this okay? And then also sending anonymous requests to ChatGPT so as to not identify the individual.
Right.
Those are the things that are in place. I am, again, more inclined to believe Apple in this than any other company. They said that they have people that are going in, independent people are going in and inspecting the servers, the models, making sure that there is nothing hinky going on, making sure it's not taking any data that it's not supposed to be taking. The one thing I said, like, hey, it's private to an extent, or like they are paying people to an extent, is that they did pay to get data to train their models, but they also did web scrape.
Mm-hmm.
And then provided a piece of code you can apply to your website or whatever to say, hey, do not scrape this data from this server if you find it. Which everybody else has the same similar thing. Whether or not they will honor that code remains to be seen. But again, if there's any company that will do this, it is Apple, I believe, that will do it. Meanwhile, ChatGPT logging token probability to defeat anonymity. Yeah, see, that I don't know. Look, Merge, I am still learning, and I appreciate you and Diogen's help with that. And I think Ionize too, who is helping me with a lot of that stuff. And again, is really making me want to go to graduate school so I can learn AI. So that way I can at least understand what's happening. I am willing to pay a university to teach me AI so I can understand how to beat it. So with this with this Apple Intelligence, Siri gets a lot smarter, which a lot of people have been asking for. Again, everything is just kept within device. You can create new emojis if that's the thing you want to do. You can create generative images based off of contact images. So whole range of things that this AI can do, or this model can do on your device in their private cloud compute. And then, yeah, if you want more, it'll send it out to ChatGPT. Any questions about that before we go any further? Like any holes you would like to plug up? Because when all this was announced, especially that ChatGPT part, you would have thought the world was on fire.
Mm.
And we'll get to why, because one person specifically obviously did not watch any of the keynote.
Right.
So no questions, we'll move on. The world was set on fire because people did not understand the ChatGPT aspect, in which it will ask every single fucking time, do you want to send your query to ChatGPT?
Mm-hmm.
One person definitely did not get this memo. And what do you know? It's Musky Musk yet again.
Mm-hmm.
He describes OpenAI integration as an, quote, unacceptable security violation and threatens to ban the use of Apple devices at his companies, including Tesla, SpaceX, and Twitter. The tech exec continued that visitors will be required to hand over their Apple phones upon arrival at his companies, with the devices stored in a Faraday cage. Meanwhile, Android devices that are running Google's Gemini are okay.
Listen, we already know that the way that he talked to his senior engineers, he doesn't know how technology actually works.
Well,
because that is not how. Yeah, that's not Faraday cage. The
yeah,
fuck?
because cut off all signal to phone for what?
Mm-hmm.
But this, like, it was the same knee-jerk reaction. And again, like, Sid, I understand your point. I understand a lot of people's points of, like, what their aversion to AI is, right? But what happened Monday afternoon? Because it was weird. Like, the reason, let me set this stage. I could not watch the keynote live because I had to go to my son's school that day. He was getting an award.
Congratulations, Minor Linux.
He got, well, no, you know what? I'm not going to disqualify that statement by what actually was happening. Yes, thank you and congratulations.
There you go.
He got the kindness award, and the story that the teacher used to describe was like, yeah, like, he's so kind. Like, you always see him with like 4 different devices in his hand, and I'm like, oh no, because as soon as she said that, all the other classmates knew who the fuck she was talking about. And I felt geek shame. Like, no, not this. It wasn't until later on in the evening I discovered why he would always walk around with 4 devices. It was because he was picking up the devices for the other kids at his table.
Yes.
Which then transferred it from geeky kid who wants all the technology to kind kid, as he was winning the award for. But the teacher did not provide that context.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not know, and I felt bad again. Because like, oh, I thought I was going to have to worry. But no, it's all good. You're cool, kid.
He's just like, he's helping clean up.
Yeah.
Now he's on 4 iPads watching Paw Patrol on one and running Roblox on the other.
Yeah.
Look, sometimes I know how I am. He is me. And I felt that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so relieved when I realized it was not that reason. But so, anywho, that's where I was during the keynote. So I could not watch it live. It was still running by the time I got home, but I was able to kind of restart it and kind of watch it from the beginning. And kind of get the information. Because like I mentioned the morning of doing Tech Talk today, I said, look, and I think I mentioned it the day before, or it wasn't Thursday show because I was too damn high to actually do that correctly. So I mentioned it Monday that I was going to watch, like, I wasn't going to look at social media. I wasn't going to look at the news, like my RSS feed, because I wanted to get this information first from Apple, then get all the think pieces and just thoughts people had online.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I waited just too late, because that's when that's when I noticed the world was on fire. Because after I watched the keynote, I opened, I watched the keynote and then I watched Ubisoft's event, which I technically did not have to do. It was shit. And I am a Ubisoft fan. It was shit though.
It was lacking. It was
very much so.
lacking. Yeah, it was mostly like, hey, there's an Anode, and here's all the other games we know that are coming out.
Yeah, I mean, other than watching the Ubisoft, other than watching the Assassin's Creed demo.
Yeah.
Or just watching Yasuke just beat the shit out of people with that big ass bat thing.
And then pet a puppy.
He did pet a puppy.
He pet a puppy.
He did pet him. Also, to see that he was like 2 feet taller than everybody that was there.
Yes.
It was like, yep, that's black man in Japan.
He's literally towering over everybody.
That is literally black man in Japan.
And then on top of that, a 1.5 foot of dreads, and it was like, yes.
Yes, I want that game. I'm sorry. Look, I want it.
Yes,
like.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep it a bit in the buck with you. I wanted 2 Ubisoft games. I wanted the Anode.
And I thought about you when it came up. I bet you Kev would like to play this game, but I don't know. He snapped at me last time I suggested something Ubisoft. So
no. Let's not do that. You said, how do you want to play X Defiant? And I said no, because shooty games and Ubisoft.
But then you said you won't even play your Anodes because of Ubisoft.
Right. And that's why I'm still like, it's like I am 100% standing on the business of me not playing the Anodes in which I have. But that's really just 2, because I can literally just but really it's because I really truly don't want to play on Ubisoft Connect. And then also Ubisoft is a terrible company. It's predicated with the fact that Ubisoft is a terrible company that makes a terrible launcher that I don't want to play the games on that I love on these games. The few games that I love on this launcher, and it's a gross company. And then it's like, oh, we're making a new Anode game, and I'm like, sure, okay. But then it's also predicated. But then I'm like, that game's probably going to come out at $70. So that's going to make it easier for me to I may not buy it at launch. Let's go with that.
Okay.
I may not buy it at all. Which, to be fair, I found a few games that have recently come out that are very Anode-like in their approach, and Settlers-like in their approach, that makes that transition very easy to get away with.
Makes sense.
It's kind of like finding out that you can make Chick-fil-A sandwiches at home and it tastes pretty good. That's the level.
Jordan. Shout out to Jordan for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, indeed. Yeah, I'm with Ruin. Anode is good. And that's what I'm like, I'm finding struggle with playing the game in which I like, or a possible game in which I like. But I can say
welcome to material contradictions.
Right. And then, like I said, but with X Defiant, it was more like, yeah, no, I'm good. Because it's like, no.
To be fair, I have not gone back to X Defiant. I see it every now and then. It's like, I should play that, but I have not. I really haven't.
It's fine. Because like I said again, it's not me saying you're wrong. If you play this game, you're wrong, and I don't respect you. It's never been that. It's me being like, hey, if you decide not to, I stand in solidarity with you. If you decide to play it, I also stand in solidarity because it's really cool. But I would recommend, if you're going to buy it, don't stream it.
You know what this is giving? It is absolutely giving the way that I felt about a number of games, but it's also like the way that I felt just before uninstalling League of Legends. Just like, you know something, with the nonsense and buckery that y'all are in the middle of if this is like your sweet little bit of relief, I completely understand that. But it's also something like, hey, just over there, hey, this company came up with this game. Listen, buy the game, but maybe don't make like the next week of your social media account talking about the game and making think pieces about people who are upset at the company telling you not to stream the game and everything else. Mm-hmm. Or because I feel like this needs to be said. I know that y'all like magic and fantasy and wizards and college settings and whatever. But maybe when you have a person who's using all of their time, energy, and money and influence to legalize people out of existence, I shouldn't have to come up with a much stronger argument than that if I have to come up with one for why you might not want to stream a game based on the property that they made. You know, yeah. Maybe.
You know, and I think that to me is like, you know, like I'm not, like I said again, I'm not gonna bop you over the head over it, and I'm not gonna shame you. I'm not gonna shame you into oblivion for wanting to play a game that's like what I would consider to be
love
not
that
it.
the caption uppercased the O in Oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
As if you're talking about the game and not the actual just word.
Right.
Because that's where my brain went to.
Yeah. I'm looking at like what Ruin said. I'm catching up with what Ruin said. And it's like where Kevin Swoop was talking about where I am with Activision. I'm also there with Activision, but Activision doesn't make a lot of games, but it's easy for me to say nah to Activision because Activision doesn't make a lot of games that I really rock with. Except for like Toys for Bob stuff. Like the
well, now they're not Activision.
Yeah, well, they're not Activision anymore, so that's fine. But you know, with Activision, it's more like, oh, okay, and like a Call of Duty game, I can take it or leave it. It's really like whatever. Blizzard, same thing. I can take it or leave Blizzard. I'll take it or leave Blizzard.
All I know is that Black Ops 6 is going to be okay, Pass.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It lowers the barrier of entry. So
what I'm going to say is, if it's going to be on Game Pass, you know what? I wish you the happiest of pew pews.
Right. Because that's what it was with Redfall. Like Redfall was like the barrier was so low, it was like, yeah, sure, we could try it, and then it would just happen to be bad, and we, you know, beyond lost our time and energy. The 2.5 hours that we lost. Major loss.
No.
Yeah.
I just read one of our articles and I have to talk to my friend about that because I'm concerned about their well-being.
What happened?
Right. I saw the article about the Alamo Drafthouse.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sad about it because this is my friend's favorite place to go.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
But yeah, to get back on topic though, yeah. So I watched the Ubisoft stuff, which again took more time out of, you know, me being on social media because I wasn't sure if it was going to be good or not. Turned out it was bad. So I was like, okay, cool. Didn't have to worry about that. But upon returning back to social media after finishing those two events, yeah, like the world was on fire because of ChatGPT. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand the AI shit, but like, why is everybody so upset about it? And it took me like a day to kind of like, and like talking about it, seeing this article here from about Musk. I was like, oh, people just do not understand that there is a barrier between what you are sending ChatGPT and oh, the internet is just a bunch of fucking idiots who don't read past the headline. Got it. Sometimes I wonder why I'm chronically online. I guess I'm just hoping that one day I will find a nice place to just be and to exist. Well, who got that Apple intelligence? The internet? The internet has the Apple intelligence? Okay, more AI news. Windows won't take screenshots of everything you do after all, unless you opt in. That's right. Microsoft fucked around and found out that nobody wants their computer spying on them, more than it already does. So what they have decided to do is say, hey, instead of forcing this recall feature on everybody, we will ask if that's what you want, and then you can have it. Otherwise, you won't have it.
So it took them the fucking around and finding out part of all the things. But that being said, we love to see you being like, why, yes, I would like to opt in to whatever this is. I do not want to have to go and dig into the settings to go, I don't want this. Right. I should have to dig into the settings to turn that on.
And let that be off default. Just don't even turn it on at all. Like you set up the PC and it's off. Done. Let people have to find it to turn it on.
So yeah, they've only mentioned like it is an option to turn on. It is an option to turn on at install. It does not say anything about, hey, if you are upgrading, or like if you're updating a Windows 11 PC that includes this feature, can you turn it on? Can you turn it on? They've also added additional security controls. They're saying like Windows Hello is going to be required to enable recall. So that's either face, fingerprint, or a pin in order to use it. The recall snapshots will only be decrypted once you authenticate, not beforehand. So like nobody should be able to get access to the database and see it without you knowing. And as they try to reiterate, recall is designed to remain local and private on device, so no data is used to train Microsoft's AI models. So there's that. Also, to be fair, there's actually a tool that's out there now that will extract the recall database so you can see what text is stored. Hopefully that won't work anymore once they re-release it. Microsoft has already recalled the beta release of the Windows the Windows update that contained the recall. So hopefully nobody still has it, but there you go. You pay for the OS and then it captures and sells your data with recall. Sounds like a winning move to me. Yeah, no. In good AI news, a photographer was disqualified from an AI image contest after winning with a real photo.
I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of funny.
A photographer has been disqualified from a picture competition after his real photograph won in an AI image category. Miles Astray entered a real, albeit surreal, photo of a flamingo into an AI category of the 1839 Color Photography Awards, which the judges not only placed third, but it also won the People's Vote Award. The color photography contest is judged by people who work for the New York Times, Getty Images, and Faden Press. Two companies have sued OpenAI for ingesting their data, or like OpenAI Stable Diffusion, or just AI companies, excuse me. Faden Press, Christie's, and Maddox Gallery, among others. None could apparently tell that Astray's photo was real. In an email to PetaPixel, the competition's organizer said that while it appreciates Estray's powerful message, his entry has been disqualified in consideration for the other artists. Each category has the same criteria that entrance images must meet. His submission did not meet the requirements for the AI generated image category. We understand that was the point, but we don't want to prevent other artists from their shot at winning in the AI category. We hope this will bring awareness and a message of hope to other photographers worried about AI. So yeah, very, very dope that that a real image will just fucking fool some AI folks.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, as Sin was alluding to earlier, Sony has bought the Alamo Drafthouse cinema chain.
So I will say that the friend that I wrote to was kind of like, I feel like this is a good thing because they've been trying to get that, like, they tried to get that for a minute. And I suppose for fairness, they do make things for watching like films on and things like that because, you know, we know Sony for like the PlayStation and video games, but they also just make like general electronics and stuff like that. So this might not necessarily be the worst thing in the world, but at this point, any kind of company has acquired something, I'm just like, oh no.
Well, to be fair, the company, the specific company that acquired Alamo was Sony Pictures Entertainment.
So
their film division.
So I'm like, okay, I am very cautiously, mildly optimistic.
Also, the company or the entity that owned Alamo prior to this was a private equity firm. So there is also that. I mean, I would rather a company own a company and not a private equity firm where it's like literally all we're trying to do is just extract profit from this thing. We do not care how the business works. Granted, one of the members of the private equity firm was one of the founders of the Alamo Drafthouse. The main thing I am concerned about with this is, again, thanks to More Perfect Union, I learned that there was a union trying to form in Colorado. And I'm wondering how that's going to go now that Sony owns the company. But yeah. That's it, and that's the question, Ruin. I do not know that answer. Like we know where Microsoft is. We do not know where Sony is. So only time will tell in this story. And last but not least, so many things are just coalesced into this last article. Like, you know, and again, like, you know, I said, like, I trust Apple. Apple has done things that are pro-consumer when it comes to user privacy and data. Like, you know, hey, we're not going to give the FBI a backdoor into iPhones. When it comes to encryption, we're not going to create a backdoor into encryption for law enforcement because, you know, fuck 12. Also, when it comes to Apple has always been in the light because of the AirTag. Because we can find AirTags get reported on as, oh no, AirTag was found on a stalking victim, which is terrible. Do not get me wrong. But you hear about the AirTag because people found the fucking AirTag. Life 360 confirms a hacker stole tile tracker IDs and customer info. A hacker gained access to a Life 360 internal tool used for responding to law enforcement requests. You know, the back door that the cops want into the tracking shit. And Life 360 was like they didn't get into the thing where, hey, they can identify people. Also, this is just a tool that responds to police requests. This isn't a tool that the police can use. Don't give a shit. There is a tool that exists that allows the police officer to request data, and you have a tool that will grant them that data.
Mm-hmm.
To call that, like, that's, I'm not sure if it was good, but that's what I was saying. This is what happens when you provide police a back door into things that are supposed to be private. This was the argument. Oh, sorry. This was the argument we were trying to make.
So what have we learned? Like, what have we learned, everyone? Don't do it.
I mean, in the
Don't
words
do
of one Sterling Archer, nothing. Because that feature will still be there. That tool will still be there. They'll just try to change the password or something. But even after this, like Ionized Girl did share an article about a AirTags like stalking ring or something. It was like, great, AirTags right back in the news again.
Yes.
Because we found AirTags. But I was like, you don't hear the articles about, oh no, the tile tracker was being used because you can't find them.
No.
And people do not understand why that, like, why this is an issue.
It's the most accessible and most detectable thing. But it's because it's from Apple, it's like, oh yeah, Apple AirTags.
Well, no, it's not because it's from Apple. It's because the fact that, like, again, it's just like, we can see those.
Right.
Like, oh no, my phone told me there's an AirTag.
Yes.
I feel like this would have been an issue years ago if it was like, oh no, my phone found a tile.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like the only reason why it's coming out is because they're accessible to buy. They're everywhere. They're available everywhere. But people keep finding them, as well as also detecting them. Like it's basically like, let me use this I'm going to use some. I need something for nefarious ways. Let me use the most widely sourced thing out here that can be easily detected by people who don't have it and can find it.
And it's only been made worse because now Google and Apple have kind of joined forces to kind of detect that shit. It's like, yeah, so now you're just being stupid.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Now you're just being fucking stupid.
Right. And because it's like, oh, we keep finding them. That's why we can report about them.
But also, it's like, they're not reporting it because, like, oh, we found one. It's like, no, see, they're using it for stalking. Don't buy these. Right. Like, no, see, you missed the point.
Right. You missed the point that you could find them.
Yeah. Like, we found it.
Yeah. It's again.
Kind of proves that the security feature that everybody was worried about actually fucking works as designed.
Right. It's like people using this for nefarious reasons, but they can't, they're trying to, people using it for nefarious reasons, but people are finding them. It's like, oh, yes, I'm going to use this highly, detectable tracking device to track somebody. Oh, wait, I'm already found. Wait, why am I arrested?
Also, Merge does kind of does make an excellent point. Because they're so easy to find,
yes,
you could just throw them out now.
That's kind of the reason why people are buying them.
Well, no, I'm saying like the thieves.
No, that's what I'm saying. People are buying AirTags so they can find the thing that is attached to the AirTag.
Well, no. What he's saying is, because like again, the AirTag is like kind of help you track where the thing is, find it, but also like hey, if somebody stole it, you can find it.
Yes.
Not for the thief to find the thing using the AirTag.
Yes, I'm saying that its design is both makes it great for the end user, but terrible for the criminal.
No, again, like this is the argument I'm making, because the criminal is also finding the AirTag and throwing it out. So
Yes.
not terrible for the criminal, actually great, because they can also find it, throw it out, and it's like, oh, my motorcycle is on the corner of Elm and West Street.
Right.
But when you get to the corner of West and Elm Street, it's just the AirTag and not the motorcycle.
Right, because that's what I'm saying. It's easily detectable. If somebody says, it's like customer is like, I am using thing to find my thing. Criminal says, wait, why is there beeping? Oh, there's a thing here. I have gotten rid of it. Ne'er-do-well. I am going to use this thing to track somebody. Victim. Wait, where's this beeping sound? Oh, I found this thing. I throw it away.
Like let's just stop stealing and stalking people.
Yes.
Let's just do that.
That part.
Let's just do
It's
that.
like it is like wild for both victim and ne'er-do-well, and ne'er-do-well to victim. It's detectable. Damn, its detectable nature allows me to find the detectable thing.
The net benefit to an honest user isn't worth the abuse harm of a potential. Again, the argument isn't so much like the inherent benefits versus the potential harm. The argument is there is a device that exists that you cannot detect.
Right.
That is serving the same purpose as the AirTag, but yet more people report on the AirTag because you can find them.
Yes.
Also, like, to make that statement, I feel like the inherent risk to the potential risk to the victim is not as high with an AirTag as it is a tile because of that reason.
Yes.
Like, you could be tracked with a tile for days, weeks, months.
Mm-hmm.
An AirTag is like, okay, you just drove down the street like maybe 10 minutes. And all of a sudden your phone's beeping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the only
It's one of those things. It sounds like it's one of those. There aren't that many left-handed people. Who's gonna tell them?
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, the only thing I don't think I would say I don't want a thing to exist because only harm can be done. Because that's also saying, like, hey, knives shouldn't exist. Guns shouldn't exist. I am a believer of the Second Amendment. I do believe that there are things that we can do to curb gun violence. Getting rid of the gun itself would solve it. Again, the safest sex is not having sex at all.
I'm just saying, Major, some of these, I see the point that you're making, but some of the examples you're using, I'm like, no, actually, yes, do that, and that, yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Maybe the gun argument, not the best one, but I'm just saying, I do like guns. I do not own a gun, but
we're just gonna drag that back to the main article. I see what we're doing here, which is to say, hey, it's the same kind of I'm gonna just bring this back to our conversation on AI. There is the understanding that there are things that we might build. They have an intended use or could have helpful uses, and we can't always make our decisions about whether things should exist or not based on the worst actors in the game.
Mm-hmm.
My only rebuttal here is that in a lot of cases, the people who want to do the worst things with it are also the people that have enough money to make people do them. I am not a fan of that particular like reality that we live in. And so it's one of those, it's not really a one or the other. It's one of those, both of these things are true and exist at the same time.
And again, like Tickle said, look, I'm looking at Life 360 here. Apple at least did something. Google at least did something. It's Life 360 I'm looking at it. Y'all did nothing before?
Y'all out here squinting like the lady at the mailbox in the driveway, who I feel bad about being a meme now.
Mm-hmm.
Apple did something like, okay, if we want to keep it a band in a buck, Apple implemented the feature when people started asking questions when the thing got announced. Those protections were there. They improved upon them because they realized how bad it still was. Again, because like, I do not, like, again, this device was not created to stalk people, right? So when they realize, oh shit, people are actually doing this, because again, nobody really thought that. It's not like anybody who created the AirTag thought that people were going to use the AirTag for that, or even thought that tiles were being used like that. So like they shored up their security after the fact. I can't say that, like, I can't in all conscience say, like, again, not to defend a company, but I guess I'm going to power through. That Apple was forced to make those changes because of security reasons. I think that they made more changes because they didn't realize how bad it was. Because some of those features that people are talking about already existed before the AirTag was released. Like I think they were adding features to the AirTag the day it released, or the day it was announced, because people were asking questions. And it only, like, I mean, yeah, it only got better. Yes, again, I know I have my stance. I have my beast with everybody, okay? Kevin, I have a standstill. Sin and I have a standstill. You and I will have a standstill.
Well,
That's what I love about y'all.
Yeah.
I have no beef. Like it's a thing. Like we all have different perspectives, but that's how we grow. When we share, we challenge each other's views and opinions on an issue. That's how we grow when we learn.
And at the very least, better decisions, because at the, like, we definitely disagree about a lot of things, but we agree about the important things. And I think that's kind of the like that part, if I were to quote Kevin over here.
Right. Or we like argue about the merits of our agreement with each other. Like, I agree with you.
Yes.
But also it's this and that. It's basically like, no, but I agree with you.
Like normally our disagreements surround semantics of a thing.
Right.
Like,
it's
no,
literally
it said
semantics.
this way. No, it said the other way.
Right. It's this, but then this.
No, it's this and this.
Right. It's like we argue about.
Why won't you say it my way?
But you need to see it my way.
No, it's my way. It took me some time to learn that.
Yeah.
Cause I'm gonna say, like, look, there have been some episodes I leave and I'm just kind of sad. It's like, did I hurt somebody's feelings? Did I say something out of turn? But then look, we come back and like, so yeah, we're just all good.
Because so I'm thinking about it. How long has the show been running now? Because we're almost up on the anniversary of the show.
Yeah, because I think
it'll be about 4
we used
years.
to have some. We used to have. We've been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I definitely know the whole of the pandemic, so like about 3 years, at least.
So. Yeah, because I remember we had some we had some after show conversations for that ass. Put it like that.
Yeah.
Look, if you want those, if you want
Jesus.
after show recordings, you know, sub to the Patreon.
It's like it literally it'd be like those arguments where we be like the energy of like be like, oh, hold up. It was her sister flew down in a bubble, man. And who was her sister? The Wicked Witch of the
Wicked Witch of the East, bro.
Bro? Oh, grow up, bro. Grow up. It's like that level of like, yeah, that part. It's like that level of like, you know, like I think those like the peanut specials were one where it was more like I was more of the vein of like, dog, you can't take these shits off the site. I mean, off of network, because there are people who depend on that. Because who's got $5 a month?
But then
Who's
at that
got
point,
good
but see, now we get to the point where it's like, oh, it's just capitalism. That's all that is.
Right. It's just capitalism now.
Honestly, I think when I hit that point,
yeah,
I think when I hit that point, it's like, oh, it's capitalism that's ruining everything. Oh yeah, everything else just makes sense now. Like it's whatever. I'm just gonna just stew in socialism.
It really is just giving. Is it capitalism?
Yeah, so now I just sit here and just stew in socialism, and it's like, cool, we're good now.
It's like sometimes it's like, what is capitalism and what is corporate greed? Because it's like,
well, that'd be an argument because those two words are synonymous.
Because they're like, it's like at first like they're the same picture, but then it's like one picture has like maybe a different color beret. Like
it's just like a shade darker because it was scanned on a different copying machine.
Yeah, because it's like capitalism would be like, we're gonna put this shit on everything. We're gonna put it in your eyeballs. We're gonna surgically insert it into your brain because we want you to see it every bit of our moment. And then it's like corporate greed. We want you to see it everywhere, but you're gonna have to pay $5 for it. We want you to see it in your dreams, and your dreams are gonna have ads.
Not
like
Futurama.
Yeah. Yes. But
light up briefs, light speed briefs.
Yeah, it's like light speed briefs, yeah, or Bachelor Child. but yeah, it's just like it was just one of those moments where I'm like, you're cutting away a literal like yearly event that people love, because then you want to like put it behind like say, oh, but it's free, but it's like, but who has access to that? Who's gonna get a Fire Stick? Do you know how much Fire Sticks cost? Do people have internet? Do people have access to internet? like, you know, what's people's internet situation looking like? When TV is like, you can literally slap a satellite dish or an antenna, and you're covered and you have access. And so it's kind of like,
have you heard of Starlink?
Yeah, rather not. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, would you even have access to that? Or could have access to that? How much does that cost? And so what happens if that goes away?
But yeah, at the end of the day, like this is what the show is. Like, yeah, we'll have semantical disagreements to things.
Right.
But we all are talking about the same thing. We all feel the same way about the greater picture. It's just like,
yeah,
is it a red pixel or a blue pixel or a green pixel?
Right.
But like when you just zoom out, it's like, does it really fucking matter?
Doesn't matter. Does it matter? Pirate everything. It's
that image of the two astronauts and one holding the gun. You mean it was capitalism all along? Always has been.
Always has been, yeah. So it's like yeah, pirate everything, because it's like,
I mean,
like, yeah, it's like, you know, get a Blu-ray player that has like universal PMP in it, and you won't have to worry about it. And like universal media server, and just you can literally just watch everything from your PC or a NAS drive that has access, and then boom, that's how I sat down and watched like Silverhawks over the weekend. Like, I have Silverhawks. So yeah, it's like, you know, but then of course, who's gonna think about this kind of stuff? Who's gonna go through that process to do that? And you know, so that's what I say. It's just simpler for people to just turn on the TV when at the point in time and watch it there.
People are still into appointment viewing.
Mm-hmm. People are still into appointment viewing. So you know, me, I'm the high percent, but there's also people who are like, for the longest time, people still listen to music on CDs. I know, weird, but they do.
My car doesn't even have a CD player.
Mm-hmm.
I have vinyl right over here.
Right, and then some people, some people listen to vinyl, like, but you know, it's that level of like, you know, not a lot of people have the means and the access that many of us do, and you're taking away the means and access of so many people who don't have access to it or can't afford to have access to it. And it sucks because people love that type of shit. Now me, I'd be like, hey, you know, I don't have no problem like just saying like, here's a flash drive, copy this over, watch it on the 1st of December. No problem. But some people don't. So, or if not, burn video discs and play them on Blu-rays. They work the same way.
Get a good USB stick.
A good USB stick? Yeah,
Those
if you
are
got
cheap now.
a good USB stick on a Blu-ray player, done. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get another Blu-ray. Matter of fact, I'm getting another Blu-ray player for the living room TV.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
But before I ask the question, are those all the articles for today? Because I think they are.
It.
Yeah, we're just chopping.
Okay. So let me ask y'all like a random question. Last week's question was supposed to be, did y'all see what happened on the Jimmy Kimmel show?
Yes, and then I sent y'all a video of for context.
because girl, a mess. I was happy. I was honestly speaking, I was absolutely living for it. For those of y'all who don't watch the Jimmy Kimmel show, which I don't.
I don't.
Some people pulled up because the vice president was a guest on the show, and they were just like, ahem, about the things that you were using our tax dollars for. And there was a kerfuffle about it. There was someone over there pretending to be the police and telling people that they were under arrest, but they didn't have the authority to do it. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on over there, and I'm just like, I have not just made peace, but a very positive relationship with every time. Like, on the one hand, you're just like, I hope we get to a point that this like stops being necessary on a daily basis. But every time I'm just like, look at y'all just disrupting things. I'm like, as you should. As you should. Continue. That's perfectly fine.
You should.
That was the thing from last week. But this week's question was about everyone's favorite thing here, storage. So, a couple of things. I am thinking very carefully about just spending some time, probably time that I'm gonna have to take off work to like go through the files and stuff that I have everywhere and just be like, delete, keep, or delete, keep. But then at some point, we're gonna have to figure out how to store that physically, because cloud storage is cool for a lot of different things, but backups are a thing. And it is, with the passing of time, something I want to take more seriously by the second. So, questions, thoughts, suggestions, if you have them.
I'll let Mage go first on that one, and I'll just kind of.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading this article. So I'm going to defer to you, Kev.
The way that Takao said, the first thing is make a list.
Yes. So you're basically looking at like what to keep and what to throw away as far as data goes. I'll make sure I heard that right.
Basically, right, we're trying to make backups of things. And Takal was just like, hey, you know, categorize things and plan them.
Yes.
For
True.
things that I want to keep and things.
Yes.
Most of the stuff that we're gonna have are pictures, music, and things that I use for social media posts and streams.
Yes.
So that's like the core of it, to cow for things. The other thing is videos and photos. So like stuff that I might have on my phone or have on the computer from like trips that I take or places that I go. That had me thinking about this because I'm like, do I need to just clear some of this stuff from my phone? And being like, well, I don't want to necessarily delete it. It's just there's a lot of stuff on there that I took like forever and ages ago, and I haven't like looked at or used in ages. It's just nice to have, like those are memories that are nice to have, but I don't know if I need to carry them with me all the time.
Right. Just so you say, like, make a list. Like, you want to go through the process of like scrolling that stuff and like backing some of that stuff up in the the nice coordinated stuff. Like, oh, this is my cruise and this is my vacation. Like, you want to back that up to the cloud, back that to the cloud. If you want to like pull it off the phone, you can. There are definitely things you can use to pull things off the phone, and transfer those into folders. Let Windows indexing do the hardest, the heaviest of lifting, because then it'll just be like you can be like, sort these by year, or sort these by month or year or date or whatever, or group them by date. And trust me when I tell you, group by date can save you so much time, like with specific videos and whatnot. So, see, I download a lot of TikToks, and so my phone is like choked up with TikToks, but also choked up with a lot of videos that are, you know, either like I recorded some unboxings and stuff on my phone, or unboxing, like basically like full the clips of unboxing, like I filmed it, press record, filmed it, press record, that kind of stuff. Taking that stuff and like organizing that, pulling that off my phone, saying group by date, and just, okay, what's this? Pull that to the side. What's that? Pull that to the side. And then being like, TikToks of this month, TikToks of that month, TikToks of this month. And that makes it easier for you to be able to find stuff. Like, there was something I watched around the holidays last year. Boom, right there. Or all of your holiday videos and holiday trips stuff. That's basically grouped into a folder. So again, let the Windows indexing do the work. That will save you a lot of time. Exactly what Cal says. Organized by album, thing, and song. Or sometimes I do is I just dump everything in like different genres, like hip hop, R&B, gospel, that kind of stuff, and then kind of like do a deeper sort. Then also, if you have like assets for whatever things, make like, if you do YouTube, make sure you have a folder for your YouTube assets. If you do streaming, make sure you have a streaming for your streaming assets. Put your stuff on the desktop. Makes it easier for you to be able to see it. And when you're transferring stuff over, when you're like basically like moving house and moving PCs, always put your files and folders in spaces where you know you're gonna check. Make a checklist. Check all the genre groups, like your videos, downloads, pictures, whatever, because certain stuff just goes directly into those files. Check those first. Check desktop. And then also don't be afraid to have your little spare bare drive called spillover, like I do, for just stuff that you don't want on your PC anymore. Just be like, I'm just gonna move this over there while I move house.
Like that's the kind of like that last thing that you just said is the kind of stuff that I have the most questions about, like how to properly do that.
Oh, I got you.
Because like for example, my streaming stuff is super organized. It is like stream name, because occasionally I'd like produce for like actual plays of tabletop games. So it'll be name of the thing that I'm making the production for, an asset folder, and then it will have images, videos, overlays, that type of thing. So I know where to find stuff. That stuff is easy, but the other just casual stuff of like, hey, here's a picture of me in a wedding that I was in back in like 2015. None of that stuff is organized at all. So I'm like, how do I want to do that?
Like I say, take it and it's almost like you can first group things.
It sounds like y'all are just like, the first step is inventory.
Yeah, first step is inventory. Like the first thing is like, all right, what files need to go where? First do group by type. Take whatever pictures there are, copy and paste those into a folder. Then you take in that folder you go group by date. Take those stuff, put those in different dates. As you go, be like, here's by now you have pictures by the year that they were made, because every time you take a picture, there is metadata for that. There's a created by. So you don't want to say like modified by, because that's when you moved something, you've modified it. So you want to do it by date created by. Date created. That means whenever it was fully made, that's when it ends up being, because like I say, Windows collects all that stuff. So you want to use the indexing, let the indexing do the heavy lifting. That's what I tell my mom. We're going to make piles, and then each pile we're going to separate a thing. Here are the candles, here are the books, here are the magazines, and then every so often we're like, all right, let's go look at the candle. Let's look at the candle pile. Let's look in the magazine pile. Let's look in the air freshener pile. Let's look in the perfume pile. And then whatever we don't want, we throw it away. What we want to keep, we put it away. But that's what we go through the different piles. And that's something you have to do. You got to go through the different piles.
I think that's one of those things that's really easy for me to do physically, because I do it so often, and I have like a very well practiced habit around what the process of that looks like. But for digital things, when it's kind of like, I have this phone, I have this computer, it's different.
Indeed.
So I'm just going to say that anything that is not these stream archives, I do not care about too much. I have them backed up, like they are backed up to Backblaze. They are backed up to a server on premises. But honestly, I don't care too much when it comes to and I do organize some of the stuff. So like my pictures are organized loosely. My documents are organized loosely, but because I don't do much with that stuff, like if there are pictures on my computer, it's because I exported them off of a camera to edit them. Otherwise, like if it's something I took on my phone, then it lives here, iCloud, and Google Photos. Like whatever. Like a memory is a memory. It's whatever. If I have a photo for it, then I have a photo for it. But it's not like it's something that I feel like you need ZF. I don't know what the fuck ZFS is. I don't know what that is. But
some of those things are, the only thing about that is for some of those things, and like I think there are reasons that you're going to understand for this, but some of those things are important, because it's different if I'm taking a picture of a place that I could go back to, if I've taken a picture with someone that I might see again in the future. There are things that if I don't back this up, or if I don't find some way to preserve this, I'm not going to have a chance to get another one.
And see, that's where like I feel like backing up the data, having them like in multiple locations is good. Like it's good enough for me. Organizing it is another thing in its entirety.
Okay, that's fair. I think they were saying something about organizing stuff just in terms of being like know what you're trying to back up in the first place so that you can figure out what you're keeping and then be like, if we're keeping photos, maybe a photos folder would help.
I mean, there is, I
Or
mean,
something like that,
I have
right?
like whatever the equivalent of the Mac OS or the Windows level of organization is, or Linux. Whereas like in your home directory, there is going to be a documents folder, a videos folder, a pictures folder, a video folder, and a downloads folder. And it's like, all right, cool. Documents go on documents, pictures go on pictures, movies and movies, videos and videos, and or downloads and downloads, whatever, right? Like that's about as much organization I would do at that level. But when it comes to the stream archives, then it gets a little bit more granular. Whereas like if you look at the stream, like you can see kind of how I have that broken down based off of kind of like what the files are called when they're generated from OBS, what I call them when I remux videos, what I call them when they're edited, which are pretty much the same, but just in a different directory. So that way, even when I copy them over to another server, when they're backed up, I know that I'm looking for like, all right, if it's a major Linux show episode that happened in June, then I know like, all right, cool. I'm looking for, or it happened in June 2023. I know I'm looking for a 2020 MLS 06 whatever 2023.mp4 video. But yeah, outside of that, it's not much more organization unless like I feel like I need it. I don't take much photo and video like that. So like, and that's also my thing too. Like I don't work on much documents. I don't take much photo and video on my phone or a camera. Most of my work is what we're doing now.
Right.
And like, that's the thing I care to preserve. And even like even going as far as what Kev was saying about like a bear share, I think you're talking about like cloud storage in a way.
No, I was talking about spillover drive.
But that's what I'm saying. You're like a bear share. Like I've only heard about.
No. I'm talking about a bear drive.
A bear. Bear. BARE.
Yeah, I'm talking about like taking a hard drive and slapping it into a docking station and then putting files on it.
That's you did say bear drive. I heard bear share, which is definitely a thing. I think that's where that was. I was like, I don't know if I'm putting shit on bear share, but okay.
No.
That's a move. So then we're going to talk about two different things. Whereas I do have things on some externals.
Yes.
But just like, all right, this is a temporary backup solution.
Yes. It's like
ultimately what happens though, like when I'm getting rid of things that I've like, all right, even if my servers are getting filled, I am then moving them over to AWS and just storing them in AWS on like glacial storage because it's like really cheap and I don't have to have that on prem. But yeah, like most of the stuff I have is still on site backups. Even these videos are backed up to Backblaze. Like they have terabytes of my data and I only pay them $9 a month to do it, which I feel like is an incredible deal. And wish they would make it easy for Linux backups this way, but they don't. Because boy, if they did, I would probably take them for everything. Major, you don't know what a ZFS RAID is? No, I have a RAID. It's probably, I don't know what the fuck it's formatted in. No, that's not it. Sudo fdisk-l. Yeah, I've got this RAID drive right here. I don't know what it's formatted in. I forget how to find that out. Wait, isn't that just fdisk? Sudo fdisk dev md0. Oh no, that will not tell me anything, and I do not want to wipe that. You know, wait. MD80M? Nope. Medium. Look, now I'm just doing too much. Let's see. MDADM space dash manage the dev MD0. Let's give it a sudo. That did nothing. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, I have no rhyme or reason for things. I really don't. I'm not the best person to ask. I am the person who's on r/data hoarders. I have no solutions.
Oh my God. Someone please write this down as a day in infamy. We don't have bespoke solutions for things.
No, I feel like it is a bespoke solution, but because it's bespoke, like, look, it's just a thing and it works. It works for me. I do not recommend people to go my route.
You don't, like, from what you just said, you don't really take a route.
My whole point. Don't be like
You can't recommend that someone, you're just like, I can't recommend that you take a route because I don't take one.
Exactly. Don't wander aimlessly. Also, another thing that I feel like Takal and I will disagree on is the EXIF data. Look, if you are privacy conscious, sure, scrape the EXIF data off of any media you have. I, however, will not do that. I am hoping that Big Brother will exonerate me more than it will sit there and be used to track and incriminate me.
I think it's one of those things, like, it's 50-50, but honestly speaking, I feel like being a child in your case, especially in your case, I feel like as things continue to progress into the future, unless there are like some dramatic shifts in things, like being more privacy conscious in your choices is going to be more helpful than not.
I am a believer in signal to noise ratio. Whereas if I can just generate a whole bunch of noise, then when I actually create a signal, people were like, okay, that was intentional. That's the bit I'm more concerned about. Like, if I want to hide, I would be able to hide in the noise that I've created otherwise.
Let's hope so.
So yeah, I don't know. I would rather be able to prove I was in a place than sit there and make sure that somebody can't find me and that they can prove that I was in a place. Because again, like, we don't have the luxury of being able to sit there and prove our innocence. They would just rather shoot us dead. So like, what's the point of scrubbing EXIF data if we don't even have our time in court? I would rather point to my phone and say, look, you can check the GPS data. It's right there. I was not where you said I was.
He was holding a weapon.
But yeah, I am a firm believer. I was like, yeah, if I took a picture, this is to prove that I was in a place, not where you said I was. Anywho, any more questions? I am sorry, I've kind of checked out. The show was over. I kind of checked out for a second.
No, like, here's the thing. I will probably have like a random question like this every week because I like knowing your thoughts about things and let you like geek out on stuff if you want to do that. But other than that,
I will do better to pay attention next time.
But also, like, child, it is 11:06 on Thursday. It is Friday tomorrow for those of you who celebrate. It is Juneteenth next week. Shout out to the people of Galveston, Texas.
Yes.
Also, shout out to the surviving members of the Tulsa massacre who got their day in court, but were just let down.
Yeah.
by the justice system.
Yeah.
So I pay attention. I know the news.
Yeah.
It's one of those things of being like, alas, not surprising, but always disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
But yeah, also happy Father's Day to those who celebrate. So Kev, happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you. Let's see, what else am I forgetting here? Yeah, honestly, because my son is not here, it's just like this Thursday is just a weird Thursday. Of course, if you are watching us live and you would like to catch up on previous episodes, you can go to majors.house/TTT or majors.house/TTT vid to catch archives. Of course, you would like to catch up with the news daily. I do recommend you hit this channel up every morning, 10 o'clock a.m. or Monday through Thursday, 10 o'clock a.m. for Tech Talk Today, where all these stories originate. You can also catch those archives over at youtube.com/MajorLinux, along with all the other videos that I produce that should possibly exist on a drive somewhere in this house, because that's how I back up. If you're watching the archives, you can catch us live here 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/MajorLinux. If you would like to reach out to us about stories to talk about, our Mastodon socials are in the description. You can email us at ttt@majorshouse.com, or you can hit us up on the Discord, majors.house/discord, where we're talking about things all the time. And there are people who are actively suggesting stories that I talk about. Not ignoring them. Some people might feel like I am. I'm not. Some of it is I look at it as this is really too complicated for me to cover, and I don't know what to say. And I'll admit that. Let's see here. What else am I forgetting? Go vote for Anka. She has made top 15 finalists at the BIPOC Streamer Awards for cosplay, and I forget the other one.
Yes.
I forgot what the other one is, but she's in 2 of them. Go over to BIPOCStreamerAwards.com and go vote for Anka.
Yes.
Do that for us. Do that for the community. Do that for the culture.
Mm-hmm.
I know I didn't ask what we're doing this weekend, but seeing as that we talked about backups, I'm just going to skip that for now. I'm trying to remember all the things that we do at the end of a show.
Go play Steam Next Fest demos.
Yes, go do that.
That's what I'm doing.
And also go and find us in our mini articles about like the latest breaking news and or op-eds and or coverage about all the things on dcanalyst.net.
Yes, thank you.
Want to go check us out on that.
Please do that.
Please go and find us on our instances of social media things. I would probably prefer you find me on Cinziak at blacktwitter.io. You can find Major at majorshouse.toot, I believe.
toot.majorshouse.com. Major Linux at toot.majorshouse.com.
Yep.
Is where you can find Major.
Same thing.
Boy, that that caption for dcanalyst.net did not.
We're not going to talk about it. So, and that is where you can find us. Now, normally this is where Major would ask us what we're doing this week and next week and over the course of the weekend. I will be doing hopefully absolutely nothing tomorrow. There will be some tabletop streams on Saturday, and then I will be taking all of Sunday to rest as the Lord intended. That is the plan for me this coming week, and enjoy a whole Wednesday off of not being at work because that's what they decided to do. They said Juneteenth, you don't have to be at the office or on your computer. So I will not be doing the things, and I will be catching up on some prep work for a small little Pride Month event that I will be keeping you posted about. And that's the thing. Kevin, will you be doing more things this weekend other than like having some quality Father's Day time?
I will probably be combination of yard work and grilling on my little smokeless grill. I've got some lovely chicken breasts that I'm going to be grilling, and I'm just going to sit down, relax, and watch television and catch up with maybe finishing Bridgerton. And playing copious amounts of Steam Next Fest demos that I truly have bitten off more than I could chew, and yard work, much needed. No, probably not on the weekend. I'll probably start tomorrow. I'll probably do a little bit tomorrow, and then probably rest on the weekend, and then probably pick up on it on Monday. But yeah, just playing copious amounts of demos, and maybe even sit down and picking back up on my Paper Mario save that I fell off with, but I love so much. And just the indie games don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. But yeah, that's and then probably be seen by the Munchkin and and get my yearly bottle of body wash. Yeah, probably the same body wash that I got for my birthday, but probably get some more of that. And yeah, that's pretty much I got.
Let's see, for me, I said this morning that I will probably do Steam Next Fest stream tomorrow. That's not happening. It's not, because I said I was going to study today. I didn't study, so I have to study tomorrow.
Yeah, go do your homework.
I have to study tomorrow for my class tomorrow evening. So yeah. There's that. Saturday we've got retro gaming event that's happening in downtown Raleigh.
Awesome.
Following that, another rally in March at the same location. Luckily, 2 hour. I don't know. Luckily, I would have preferred them to have had the march at the same time, or like they kind of coexisted. But I think they're holding marches later in the evening because it'll be cooler for people, which I'm okay with too. So I'll be attending that march. Saturday, maxing and relaxing. Who knows what I'm going to do Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I am going to take the day off, so there will not be a Wednesday stream of Tech Talk today. Because, damn it, I'm not doing any work. So fuck you. No, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just drink some water.
Hydrate.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I drink more water when I get a new cup. I do not know how long I will be drinking water out of this cup, though. I have a feeling at a certain point it's going to stop. I just don't want to do that. But I'm just having so much fun now with this new cup, which will hopefully help this weekend. Add up points redeemed for hydrate. I should do that. Will help us to remind y'all. I know I should do more Twitch things. I really should. It doesn't entertain me. It doesn't fascinate me to do that stuff. Like I see, it's like, oh, that's a cool thing to do. It's a cool thing to implement. It's like, but I like reading and talking about tech and gaming stuff. All these highfalutin shenanigans. Should also update your tabs below the stream. Wait, what's wrong with them? Are they broken? Magents.com. Oh shit, yeah, that specs list needs to be updated. Yeah, a lot of maintenance. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. There's also just not a lot there. There's also that bit. I guess one day I'll be motivated to do that stuff, or just get rid of them. They don't need to be there. If you want to know about me, you can ask. I'll be more than happy to answer some questions. But with all that being said, it's time to get out of here because I feel like I am on drugs, even though I'm not, and I want to be. Thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of Tech Talk Thursdays for June 13th, 2024. Again, we'll be back. Oh, Takal, you've not heard? I have been imbibed. Damn it! What is the word? Is it imbibe?
So
imbibe?
No, imbibe means you are drinking things.
Oh,
that is not what you are doing.
No, even though they said they have
those.
drinks that have THC in it.
If you were talking about eating, ingesting might be a word you might want to use.
Yes, I am ingesting drugs.
But
I feel like I do not have the energy I normally have on a Thursday.
Here, why don't I say this? Takal, Major has recently decided to have a couple of adventures with things like cosmic brownies and other assorted goods in that vein.
Yes.
Trying to see if I can find video
on a gardening adventure, if you will, on elevated status, ascended, some might say,
on the ship Fantasy. So
all your dreams will come true miles away, even.
I think this is the one.
Until the 12th of never.
I think this is the one.
We all will live, love forever as one after having those things. Indeed. So
I would say watch that stream. That might answer some questions, or at least for me. I don't know. I felt way different that day than probably what that. I should watch that video and see what it looks like.
Probably after you've had some more sleep, because homie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've got some decent sleep, but you know, it's whatever.
Pull the bot aside and then just do a reaction.
No, I think I just might let that just die. I'm just gonna let it die. It's taking up space on a hard drive. I haven't deleted it, but it's not being posted to YouTube. It's just gonna exist. Maybe if my storage is hacked, if I decide to hold things on Snowflake, somebody will find this video and be like, oh yeah, that dude was fucked, bro. Anywho,
dude was out here toasted.
Yes, I want to go back to that state. I really do. And that might be what I'll do Wednesday. Or Tuesday leading into Wednesday. Because the Wednesday part, the second day part where I'm just laying on a couch and watching TV, that's what I want. Being high is one thing, but just laying on a couch and watching TV and just fucking vibing out, that's what I want. Not sure what that had to do with flakes, but all right, cool. I might have to run NixOS and a VM, see how that goes. All right, yeah, I'm trying to get up out of here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. Of course, you all could have been watching any stream in the world. You could have been anywhere in the world watching any stream in the world. You could have been reading the tech and gaming news yourself. I've been messing up on that all week, and it sucks. But y'all said no thank you. No thank you. We wanted to spend 2 hours straight bashing Elon Musk and capitalism, just like we did this morning. And for that, I say thank you. And all I've got left for you wonderful people is nobody's going to save us but ourselves. I love you. And peace out.
Wakanda forever.
There's no buttons here for this show.